Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Cheers to some warmer weather, man.
What's up with this 20-degree, 25-degree stuff in almost April?
We're getting snow the other day. I thought we were done with this. Ready for
No,
baseball. I'm ready for baseball and tanks.
We got the friggin' we got like the alert on the phone, like a snow squall or something coming in the air. I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing?
It's almost April. What's going on here?
It's insane. So what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Free agency is cruising along. The draft's just around the corner. We got press conferences. Joe Douglas spoke. Robert Saleh spoke. Woody Johnson spoke. My favorite guy, he spoke.
That's always entertaining.
Yeah, it's always a good thing, man. So we appreciate you guys all tuning in and joining us. I guess prime time, what we'll do is we'll go through some of the latest news and notes, and then bring callers on, because it's probably the easiest way to do this. First thing, I guess the first thing is the signing of Solomon Thomas. I'll let you talk first, and I'll share my thoughts. And I'm going to respond to one of my haters on Twitter, too, because I love doing that as well.
Well, I was going to say, I saw you made a tweet. I guess there are some people that don't like the signing, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, I can't imagine that they're paying him. I don't know if the contract details came out. I know it was just a one-year contract. I can't imagine that they're paying him anything crazy. And, you got a lot of production out of a guy like Sheldon Rankins last year. I think Solomon Thomas is similar. They're both good, pass rushers along the interior. You lost Fadu Kasi already, so why not build some more depth along the interior? We already rotate guys like crazy. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with it. You have so many different defensive linemen that are playing 60% of snaps. You need to have some depth. So good signing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, he's a solid guy. So Saleh has familiarity with him. Yep. He's an underachiever. Everybody regurgitates the same shit. Well, maybe this, maybe that. The bottom line is he's a depth signing. At the end of the day, you have to fill out your roster. Like you mentioned, Fadu Kasi, Solomon Thomas has some versatility. He can play on the outside, can play on the inside. But the one thing he doesn't do is change your draft strategy. Like everybody, I understand it's bold take season. Everybody has to get their subscribers and chase their retweets and all this other shit. But dude, it's a depth signing. Not every move is the best move known to man. Not everything's genius. It's low risk, high reward. There's no guarantees. So, depending on what you look at, he was a good pass rusher on the Raiders, but he sucked against the run. When he played with Saleh with the 49ers, he was a little bit good at each one. You have no idea what you're getting, but it's a depth guy. But the one important thing is Saleh this year is finally bringing in his guys, which he didn't do last year. So he has familiarity with DJ Reed. You had Tomlinson, now him. Like it's now to incorporate and get his message in the locker room and incorporate his systems. He's getting more of his guys here. So that's what
last year you had what? You had Ronald Blair and Tevin Coleman. Those were really the only guys that followed Saleh. So it's nice to be able to have some of those leaders that you can kind of lean on that know the expectations. And it's good. That's how you build the locker room. That's how you build your culture.
Yeah. So it doesn't change your draft strategy, nothing like that. It's a piece. You got to fill out your roster at some point. And they're doing that.
I don't even look at him as like an edge guy, right? He's more along the interior. I know he can play on the outside.
Yeah, but it's not like It reminds me almost like the Vinny Curry thing. It's like, it's just it's a guy they're bringing in with leadership. He's got, stuff like that. The other thing is we got kickers, man. We got two kickers now. I know. It's just so we want a kicking competition. You have it. You got.
So they released Amendola today too.
Yeah. Sorry. Big power moves around here. I'm rooting for Panero, man.
Item now.
I'm rooting for Eddie, man. I got to go with him. But
give me the experience vet.
No, I want
real experience vet. I'll take Zerline.
So you have that. And then the other thing is we'll go into the press conferences. And now the weird thing about now is there's so much cool, positive energy around this team, and rightfully so. They've had a solid offseason. Joe Douglas has done very well. They're saying and doing all the right things. They are. They made a big play for Tyreek Hill. It didn't work out. They were aggressive. And Joe Douglas today is saying, you know what? I want to be aggressive. We know we need elite playmakers. We're willing to go out and be aggressive for it. It may not work, but we're going to take swings at it. And that's phenomenal, dude. And it's firing up the fan base. This is great, but you got to do it. I like it. I like the approach. I like them telling us they want to do it. Got to do it.
Yes. Eventually they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they were willing to pay Tyreek Hill what he was asking for, to me, that's a huge check in Douglas's column. Because for all the criticism that we've given him early on, the one thing that I've always asked is when that opportunity presents itself, if he's going to be willing to actually make it happen. And to me, that answered everything. Whether or not they actually finalized it or not, they had a deal done with KC, and they were willing to pay him Tyreek Hill what he was asking for. So to me, that's huge. It shows that legitimately, it's not just talk. When the right opportunity presents itself, whatever that may be, they're willing to make the move. So I think that's huge. But like you said, eventually at some point, you got to be able to close on your guy. And I think next year, assuming we win 7, 8, 9 games, there's a different kind of mindset around the team. I think that's going to be a lot easier to do that next year.
Well, the thing with Joe Douglas has been, we both been kind of critical of him, is saying, listen, you know what? Your first year of free agency with Gase was not good. Last year, Carl Lawson was a big move. Corey Davis was a big move. But, like, we need, like, the splash signing doesn't always have to be the big name. It's adding elite level talent. And right now in this NFL, especially in the AFC, you need game-breaking talent, man. Like, you can't have Band-Aid, hold the fort guys. At some point, you got to add, like, a guy that's going to make Zach Wilson incredible. Like, so, and now they're recognizing that. And that's been the bugaboo with him, man. I was like, listen, man, you're kind of being a little bit cheap, a little conservative. You're not really doing this. You're making great trades to get draft compensation, but you're not going the other way and breaking that, breaking the bank for somebody. Now they're showing the willingness to do that, and it's good. Now, a lot of like, not everybody's got inside scoop. Maybe it's AJ Brown, maybe it's DK Metcalf. Who knows what it is? I think
sounded like AJ Brown became a Jet on Twitter the other day.
Yeah, it's crazy now. So everybody takes one little quote out of context, and all of a sudden it's supposedly happening. But it's obviously they realize what they need to do to compete with the rest of the AFC. You want to come out with the Buffalo Bills, or you want to, they keep saying close the gap. The only way you close the gap is talent. Now they do have 4 picks in the top 38, which helps it tremendously.
That's everything.
And Joe Douglas said today, if we hit on all 4 picks or get really good players there, that's a huge upgrade, man. That's your talent base is much improved. So I like their mindset, I like their approach. A lot of work to do still.
And he even had another comment, something about like, it bordering reckless once you reach a certain value, and you have to know when to walk away. And I totally respect that, because in the past, we'd give out all these big money contracts, and look at how much money, how much dead money we were sitting on last year. I think it was like $32 million that we couldn't even spend. Guys that were released, that were playing elsewhere, out of the league already. So I think this is a good approach. But again, like we were just saying, I mean, everything comes down to the draft. If you hit, especially on these top 4 picks, and that along with last year's draft class is your core going forward, you're going to be in good shape. And I think they're doing it the right way in order to be able to sustain it for a long time.
Yeah, there's a method to their madness. I agree with their approach. I understand they're trying to be responsible financially and everything else. I get it. But and they understand what it takes to get the players, and they seem like they're in sync too, which is really important. Where Saleh and Joe Douglas are completely on the same page. They're united. So Saleh comes out and talks, and I mean, one of the biggest topics this offseason has been Becton. And it's just what's going to happen with Becton is that and everything else. And it's no secret, dude. They are lighting a fire under his ass, because they're basically saying nothing's given. Like, you're going to compete for left tackle. If you don't get it, you're going to get right tackle. But they're pushing it. And the strangest thing, should I say it or you can say it?
I think we're probably about to say the same thing, but go ahead.
It's remarkable that they are not sure if he's going to be available for OTAs. I don't understand that.
How?
Like, you see the workout videos. Like, I'm not sure if they're not trying to put too much pressure on him. Like, this was, and it's funny because when he got hurt last year,
we said it walking out of the stadium.
We thought he was out for the year because he was crying and left the field. He was in tears. It's 6 to 8 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, whatever else, and then dragged out and was gone for the year. And now it's like, you see the videos. He's doing all kinds of. Now it's like, we're unsure if he's ready for OTAs. We'll see what happens. And I'm like, wait, what? Like what's going on here?
And therein lies the problem. And I'll continue to say it. There's like 2 factions of Jet fans right now. The fans that just don't like him altogether, and they troll him on social media. And those that think, he could do nothing wrong, that it was just a freak injury, everything's fine. I think there's somewhere right in the middle where we all should be right now, where we respect Becton's talent. We respect what he did as a rookie. He's a physical freak. He's a mauler, but he's got to be able to show that he could be on the field. And he's got to show that this game means something to him as well. And I think that we're waiting to see what that is. I mean, last year in training camp also, I mean, he was getting dominated by Carl Lawson every practice. The joint practices weren't great either. So he's got a lot to prove. It's not that we don't want to see it, but the bigger thing for me is also now, I'm sure you'll get to this next, but between him and possibly Vera Tucker also moving to the other side, I'm like, geez, you invested a full year in both of these guys on the left side. Now you're switching them over. I hope it's because that's what's best for them, not because you think Tomlinson's the best fit at left guard or Fant's the best fit at left tackle.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing that Saleh said a couple times was, like, once young players have a little bit of success, that next offseason, especially like a rookie, they get kind of like complacent. They kind of like start feeling themselves a little bit. They live the NFL life without the NFL work ethic. So I think they're hoping that there was a smack of reality to Mims and Becton. We're like, listen, this didn't work out. I know Becton got hurt, but listen, we expect a lot more from you. Whatever this country club atmosphere was around here the last few years, that's changed now. Like, we have high standards here. Either you meet him and you play or you don't. I think it's a good thing. But now, to your point, was the interesting thing was they come out and say Tomlinson's playing left guard. He's a Pro Bowl left guard. They like Vera Tucker's athletic ability. They think he'll be a smooth transition to right guard. So my initial reaction was, well, you know what? If Becton comes back and plays left tackle, having Tomlinson next to him is probably an excellent thing. Veteran guy, Pro Bowl guy can probably help and kind of keep him intact. If that doesn't happen, if Becton's playing the other side, it's like, all right, then it's like you said, you have two guys that are new to the position on the same, it's
to me, the optics just look bad. You draft them at a certain spot, you invest a full year in them in those spots, and they actually play pretty well there. I mean, Becton's rookie year was pretty good. Vera Tucker last year was solid. We were singing his praises all year. So they each have good rookie seasons, and now in years 2 and years 3 respectively, they're learning new spots. It seems strange. I don't know.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of confidence in it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trust it. But it'd be weird where it's like you can have almost your entire offensive line reshuffled. You have Vera Tucker, and Becton on the right. Yeah, but you're going to have Tomlinson at left guard. You have a lot of change on offensive line, man.
And even McGovern and Fant, they're on 1-year contracts at this point.
Yeah,
you don't know if they're going to be back beyond this year.
So that was one of the big stories talking about, the Becton health. They're going to be on him, man. I'm truly hoping he comes back and just dominates and shuts everybody up. I mean, he's changed his Twitter account name to Big Boss and everything else. He's definitely out there. He's outspoken. Hopefully he's going to back it up with his actions because words don't mean shit. The other thing is, they expect Carl Lawson back for training camp. But I think I watch all the press conferences because what I've learned is you can't go by what anybody in the media tells you in their tweets. A lot of times they're taking the words out of context or they're not giving you the full story. So it's very encouraging about Carl Lawson. He's already watching tape. He's studying. He's in phenomenal shape. If you follow him on social media, you see that. But I think the Jets are desperate to add pass rushers, man. They are definitely going to get one. I wouldn't be surprised if at 4. But they realize they need to be hell-bent on doing that because in order to compete in the AFC with all these high-flying offenses, these quarterbacks, you got to hit them. And if you can do that, it hides your secondary too.
Yeah, at this point, and I love Carl Lawson, but at this point, I think you have to treat him like a bonus, like a luxury item. Assume he's not going to be there, and if he is, great, but you can't depend on it at this point. It's, the third major knee injury that he's had in his career. So if you got the opportunity to grab somebody at 4, I think that's probably the ideal spot, and then you see what happens at 10. I know there's a lot of talk about Gardner right now, but I just think pass rush is probably a lot more important than corner.
I'm telling you right now, as of March 29th, I'm thinking they're going pass rusher receiver. That's the 2 picks because they're selling their soul for Tyreek Hill. They want to make a big splash receiver. They're obviously saying we need receiving help. If they don't land somebody,
or they could also be saying maybe they don't like the options at 10. I disagree with, but I mean, if they felt the urgency to go make a move for Tyreek Hill instead of just taking somebody at 10, I don't know.
And the last thing, and now this is. What the weird thing is, like you said, I'm an excited Jets fan. I love everything they're doing. I genuinely do. And it was great to hear Joe Douglas say, you know what? We have to play meaningful games in December. We have to win more games. We have to do these things because the time is now. Like I tell you, last year was a redshirt year. They got a pass for losing last year. We all accepted it. This year, not the same thing. So Joe Douglas said it. Saleh kind of said, listen, we expect a lot more. But then why? Why does Woody Johnson have to say the same shit year in and year out? And I listen, and I don't like him. I'm not going to pretend I do. I don't. But as an owner of the team, they ask him they throw him softball questions. So what I'm going to tell the Jets now is hire me to be your communication guy for Woody Johnson because I can answer all his questions for him to make him a hero to the fans because he doesn't know what the fuck he's saying. How hard? They said, is there a playoff mandate? No. He's like, we obviously want to win every game, every year, all blah, 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 blah. I don't there's nothing. It's like basically just said, I'm not worried about wins. Not like there's no kind of, there's no sense of accountability. No. So how you say prime time? Here's how you answer the question. Last year, 4 wins while we're rebuilding is unacceptable. I expect more wins this year. I expect this to be a lot more competitive this year because we're young, we're rebuilding, but we also have to progress because you know what? The rest of the NFL is too. Now, that's not putting your general manager and coach on notice. That's saying I'm running a business. My business is winning. We haven't done enough, and we're raising the stakes a little bit. Now, I'm not saying anybody's going to get fired. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying we have higher standards here. Let's stop being that's the message from the owner, dude. He's always done that, and it drives me crazy. Now, for the jerk off on Twitter coming after me, dude, it's not being negative about the Jets. It's saying you want to change the culture and change the tone. It starts with ownership too. When he speaks in media, have the same mindset. Everybody has the same mindset and say it all together, right? Am I crazy here? Like, why just act like, well, you know what? We just want to, we're gonna win some games. I don't want to put too much pressure on them. And what?
I just don't even think Woody at this point should talk. Just let Douglas and Saleh handle all the rebuilding questions, the culture questions. It just seems like everything
Stick to
he
uniforms,
says,
Woody. Stick to uniform colors.
It seems everything he says is just like some kind of recycled variation of, a quote that he said a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And just like I'd like to hear in his voice how sorry he is to the fans for putting up with this shit for so long. Yeah. Like how much we deserve better. And like you said, also, like it doesn't require a playoff mandate to raise the bar, to raise expectations.
You know what?
Here.
If you want to raise ticket prices, how about you raise your expectations for the team too, starting with yourself? You have no problem raising parking prices, ticket prices, right? No problem doing that.
Yep.
But you can't just get the message to fans. You know what? I like it's just okay to say, listen, we understand that Zach was not take a big step, but I expect him to play better. I'm paying all this money for all this shit. I expect more wins this year. That's what I expect. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? Next year, I'm going to expect even more because we need to get to the next level now. We're done being bottom feeders. So I don't know, man. It just bothers me. It always bothers me. So
they should definitely bring you on board.
Dude, it's
you along with the
social
media guy who does all the video clips.
Jesus Christ, man. So other than that, we'll bring on the call. We'll go through the comments first. I'm way behind on that. We here prime time. The Bills just got their rights to build a $1.6 billion stadium out of Orchard Park. I'm 21 right now. Will the Jets have a new stadium by the time I'm 30?
Wouldn't count on it.
Nope.
I know they can get out of the lease in like 3 years, but yeah, it's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, the Jet that dream is gone, man.
What a shame.
Unfortunately.
What a shame.
So, thank you, Girth. We appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm very behind in the comments, so I'll just do the best I can to get caught up on these. If there's anything you want to bring up prime time over the last couple of days that I missed, you can feel free to do that.
I think you got everything, right? Covered Becton, offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of I'm not slapping no one tonight. Sorry about last night too. We're training. We have 3 fighters fighting Saturday night, man. So like the last week, 10 days is really, really hectic. So we couldn't do last night. That's completely my fault. And another thing, Mr. Tyrone. Mr. Tyrone said, I will make one video a week.
I remember.
Or I'll do a shotgun. Didn't that what he said?
Yep.
Been 12 days.
Phone. Yep.
Been 12 days.
I made some videos.
So you're waiting on the Titanic stream? Yeah. We're working on that. I'm behind on the man cave stuff too.
We just got to do the ending. Last like half hour.
Thank you to Green Bean. Green Bean was awesome. Thank you to Matt O'Leary. And I have 2 more tricks up my sleeve too coming up. So stay tuned. It won't be this weekend. If anybody's in New York City, though, if you want to meet me in prime time, we'll be at the Stoke the Fire Pod event in East Village. So we'll be there on Sunday. But 2 more surprises for everybody. So stay tuned for those. What's up, Johnny? I'm making moves here, man. I'm networking. Just let's see what we got here. So what's up, Jose?
Ooh, Jose's back.
Yeah, he's back too. Yeah, Joe Douglas is definitely working hard. I mean, did he call in last week or no?
No, he didn't call in.
No.
He didn't call in.
I got beef with everybody lately, man. Nobody's. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, St. Peter's, man. Awesome run they made. That was very exciting. Great to see everybody rallying around them, which is nice. If you want to touch on Julius Randle, I cannot take Julius Randle anymore either, man. I want him out of here so bad.
I'm ready for baseball to be done. Give me more DeGrom and Scherzer all day.
Yeah. All right, you impatient bastards. I'll put the link in there. Jeez. Look at it. You guys see the comments, man. Is this a call-in show? Or is it? No, it's not, John. It's not. This is me in primetime just talking now. Come back angry now. Here is the link.
About time.
Yeah, I know. About time. Who would you want the most, DK or Deebo Samuel?
AJ Brown. AJ Brown.
Deebo Samuel's not going to be available, man. He is too valuable to the 49ers. Too valuable.
And I don't know if I would even give up what the Seahawks would probably want for DK. I'm not giving a first-round pick for him.
What's up in Los Angeles? Let's see. I think Joe D does want a quality wide receiver, but a big offer for Hill is most likely driving the price high for Miami. However, now if we don't take wide receiver 10, we won't get one in second. Both Green Bay and Kansas City want one.
Trade up.
Trade up.
You got two
I
second-round picks. I think that has to be the approach. If you don't go receiver at 4 and 10, then you got to move up and get into like low 20s.
Yeah, I think they're going 10, man. I'd be floored unless they make a big time trade. I'd be floored if they don't go receiver 10. Absolutely.
Well, what if you get your pass rusher at 4 and then either Hamilton or Gardner somehow are there at 10? I think they're probably going that direction.
Then I'd be trading up. I'd be trading up again. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if we don't get a big guy, I want a legitimate your top option wide receiver. I don't want to settle.
Yep.
Everybody keeps asking me. I don't know Jet Central, man. I don't have any contact with him whatsoever. I don't know how to get a hold of him. I would do it. I genuinely don't know him.
I met him. When was it? I think in Cleveland, the first road trip that we did. He tailgated with us for
I don't think I've ever met him, dude. I don't know him. If he wants to, I'd be more than happy to do it with him. So let's see. Marcus, thank you I'm glad you like the shirt, man. He put our shirt on his Instagram today, man. So thank you.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. We went over to takeaways from Salah and Douglas, man. I thought they're both well spoken. They said all the right things. They're aggressive. They're motivated. The other thing they talked about is the level of quality of guys they're bringing in here. Guys that love the game of football, but they're coming from a winning mindset too. They've all been in the playoffs and Super Bowl, and like they have that background. They know what they're trying to do. So I like that too. We'll go there too. Primetime. Hey, listen, Primetime can do these things too, man. You guys message Primetime. Get him to do stuff.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hey, Hamilton ran a 4.7. Yeah, they're criticizing his speed and his run and his workout.
He's out.
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah already said that, but Daniel Jeremiah said, "Don't worry about the run. Look at his tape." So I don't know, man. People just
watch the tape.
Kid. Just watch the tape. Let's see. Let's see. If you want to take a $30 million wide receiver off the field, you hit the quarterback, hit him early, hit him often. Yeah, that's. Yep.
Got to have the guys to do it though.
Yeah, they need pass rush big time. Let's see what we got here. Do a couple more. Do you think our defense gets a lot better next year? I think it takes a big jump. Salah committed to it. He said that they expect to be a lot better this year. Guys knowing the scheme, getting a lot of guys back.
It's got to take a jump. With Lawson coming back, Quinnen Williams will be in a contract year essentially.
Year two, everybody knowing the defense. You should have a lot, and then you're adding guys like Reed, Whitehead. You're adding a lot of talent too.
On top of all the young guys that got experience last year.
Yep. No, there's different. They're saying it was like a slow 4.7. I saw that too.
That's
bring back the radio show. Come on, man. You don't like our stuff?
He just doesn't like our faces.
Yeah. It's rude. Damn. All right. So Primetime, we got a full studio here. So how do you want to start this show? I'll let you choose because I feel
like we should start with chaos.
Come on, man.
I want violence tonight. Let's recreate the Oscars.
What's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
How you doing?
First things first, before we get into the talk, I want to say a couple of things. Thank you, Tyson, for the shirt, and congratulations on all the stuff that you've done. I think it was phenomenal what you did. I watched everything you did on Twitter. You did a great job with the fundraiser. I really, really do appreciate it. Also wanted to say thank you for the happy birthday wish on Friday. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. I know it's been for a while. we've all been busy, but, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for it. The shirt is great. I love the shirt.
Well, first of all, Steve, I give you a hard time. I always bust your chops and shit, but to be completely honest, you always support us with all our fundraisers. You're usually the first one to buy a shirt or help donate and spread the word. So, to be honest with you, I appreciate it, man. You're really good. You're a really good dude, man.
It's always important to always, get into the community. Listen, I was always part of the community. I was with that when I was in school. It's important to always give back.
No, so dude, I definitely appreciate it, man. I'm glad you got the shirt. You like it, and you're looking buff there, man. You hitting the weights? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I have been.
Oh, he's
that so confidently.
Thank you for the appreciation for that. No, I have been. Thank you. So so far, I finally get a chance to talk to you guys about this offseason so far. The Jets are definitely, Joe Douglas has finally been aggressive that we've been waiting to see for the last couple of years since he's been our GM, with getting the safety from Tampa Bay, the 2 tight ends. Tyson, I loved your video when you spoke about Coughlin, how so high you were on him.
Yeah, I like
but,
that.
Listen, the biggest thing, unfortunately, that did happen was, unfortunately, with the thing with Tyreek Hill, it still bothers me a little bit that we didn't get him. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was a decision that Tyreek Hill made. He let the Kansas City organization decided to let Tyreek make the decision. Listen, I really wish that because the thing is, I felt that we were more aggressive than Miami were, but unfortunately, he just chose to go to Miami because that's where he's originally from. He wanted to play from home, so they let him decide. But I guess the question I got to ask you guys is because the receivers class is so big in this draft. In your opinion, Tyson and Kevin, who do you think is the best wide receiver in this draft class this year?
Oof, good question.
Well, I got my guy.
Garrett Wilson.
Kevin, who is your guy?
Garrett Wilson. Just because I think he's probably the best. Yeah, just because I think he's the best fit for LaFleur's offense, the most polished, probably the best route runner, gets tons of separation, catches everything. That's even close to his hands. So I think he's the most complete guy. Might not have the best size or whatever.
Talking about is the guy from Alabama, Williams.
The hurt one?
Yeah, well, he's coming off injury. Yeah, that's why. He
that's the problem.
By far, he was the best receiver in this class before he got injured. Now it's do you take?
Because before the injury,
when's he going to be ready to play?
I like Garrett Wilson too from Ohio State, but I also love the guy from USC, Drake London.
Yeah.
It's a matter. They're all good. It's just a matter of how they fit in your offense and how you feel like they're going to grow in the offense. Like, do you want the big size guy? You want the speed guy? You want, it's just a matter of picking your pleasure at this point.
It just seems the offense values the precision route runners more than anything else.
But the thing is though, because I think that's what they're going to do at number 10 as of right now. If let's say, because then that's the next big thing. Like before the draft happens, what if the Jets do go out there and get one of those three big names that they've been talking about the last few days, whether it's Metcalf or A.J. Brown or Deebo Samuel? Listen, I don't think the Deebo Samuel is going to happen. He's staying put in San Francisco.
No way that's happening.
But if let's say if they get one of those receivers, would you still feel okay with getting a receiver at number 10? Or do you think you go at another position and maybe get that cornerback from the guy Sauce?
The thing is this: if you look at what they tried to go for Tyreek Hill, they have both their first rounders left. If you got a Tyreek Hill, then my whole mindset changes in the first round.
Completely.
Then you can go pass rusher and corner, or you can do whatever you want then.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, I know a lot of people are saying that this year's draft is not really the best draft because there's not too much of the talent going on. But but the thing is though, it's finally a front office that we can finally trust. The biggest thing though, and Tyson, I agree with you. Sometimes when I listen to Woody Johnson talk, Woody Johnson has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. I honestly don't understand him at all. When he talks sometimes. Honestly, what he just needs to do, he just needs to sit back, relax, and just be the owner of the team. Sit back, relax, let Joe Douglas, let Robert Saleh do what they need to do.
Yeah, you just sit on Twitter, shoot out the old game clips, talk about uniforms, talk about shit.
Listen, I have no problem with him doing that. It's just like the thing is because I do agree we deserve so much better because we've been tortured so much for the last 11 years, of not making the playoffs. It's terrible because we have the longest playoff drought right now, and Woody and Christopher just have no idea what's going on.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, what they did was they did, put more power in Joe Douglas's hands. They changed the hierarchy of the team. They've done a lot of really good things, and I like what Joe Douglas and his staff is doing. I like what Saleh's doing, but unfortunately, the owners at some point have to talk, and they still haven't learned how to talk. I don't know why that is, but that's just what they do.
Yeah. So no, but this is as of right now, guys. This is exciting times to be a Jets fan, and Tyson, I watch all your videos, and you do a good job. Kevin doing his videos, and even Tyrone now doing videos. Now
video.
Well, video. He's doing a video. Yes, you're right. He's doing a video.
Well, thank you, man. You guys laughing together.
Hey guys, listen. I'll let you guys get back to what you're doing. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Happy late birthday too, man.
Hey, you too, man.
Happy belated birthday, man.
Have a good night.
You too.
The hell was that?
It was great. This is what it's about. A happy let's talk Jets environment here. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's jovial. Even me and me and Steve are getting along.
That was such a disappointment.
He's bulking up. He's looking like he's ready to take on he's going to compete for right tackle or something.
That was a rookie mistake on my part. You got to wait middle of the show, build up your anger a little bit before you bring him on.
He came on. He's looking all buff, just flexing and stuff. The one comment there was cracking me up. If you're like an old WWE guy, the Georgie Animal Steel references were spot on, man. That was so spot on. It was perfect. Yeah, Primetime was bummed out we weren't fighting. So that's we can't trust this front office until we win, period. There's a lot of positives right now, but you got to see how this draft goes, and there's still some free agency left too.
I trust the direction. They still have a lot to prove, but I trust that they have the right vision in place.
Are you trusting the process?
I hate to say it, but I am actually.
All right, so we got who else do we want to go here? We got a bunch of different. We'll go to sneakers to boots. See, we can get a good Altoon references here. What's up, man?
You're muted.
You're muted, man. Oh. Come on! What are we doing?
My bad. How's it going, guys?
Got the nice shirt, got everything going on, and woof.
Yeah, I'm expecting a couple Altoon references tonight. I've been good, man. Just working 2 jobs as much as we can, especially in times right now. So I hope you guys are all doing well with on your end and your families and everything during these crazy times right now.
You ain't kidding, man. Keep them busy, man. Never a dull moment. So what's on your mind, man? We got some free agency moves. You got some press conferences. You got the draft coming up.
So I like everything that JD has done so far, addressing the tight end position, not even just getting 1 tight end, but 2 who know how to catch the ball, who know how to block, who know how to be a safety blanket for a developing quarterback. Not even the fact that JD just got Uzama, but he also got Conklin, who the Bengals were going to take too. So that's just impressive in itself. I like what he did with the defense, getting DJ Reed. I think he's a good cover corner, especially in cover 3. He's able to come up and stop the run. Good tackler. Whitehead, he's a thumper. He's going to bring that attitude that kind of like Jamal had, but he's going to know his role where he's actually going to be able to probably make big plays in critical situations. Like Jamal would make up plays in the beginning of the game, but then he wouldn't be anywhere to be found.
I agree.
Hey, Altoon could do play any position he wants.
So what are your thoughts on they were aggressive for Tyreek Hill? Do you see them trying? I mean, according to everybody, they're trying to make a big splash here before the draft. They're going to be very aggressive if somebody leaks free. I don't see the Deebo Samuel thing. I don't think it's even a remote chance. But do you think they can get Metcalf out of Seattle or Brown? I don't think Brown either, to be honest with you.
It makes no sense. I mean, we're just stirring our own pot here. We're just creating our own illusions with trade scenarios. I think at this point, it makes no sense for the Seattle to.
Well, how else do we get retweets?
Yeah, I mean, we're a passionate fan base that just loves clickbait, and anything that has to do with the Jets, we'll click it, whether it's good or bad. But I don't think those 2 options are viable. I mean, would I love either of them? Absolutely. But Seattle's not going to get in bed with Joe Douglas again with trades. For them to get back their first-round pick that they gave to us, it just doesn't make any sense. And then also, why would the Titans get rid of A.J. Brown when they're also going to be at their last transfer playoff push at this point, and they just brought in another big-time free agent receiver with Roger Woods. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, all 3 guys are on the last year of their contracts, right?
That's the one thing.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's.
Yeah, so you're going to be paying top dollar then for next year. So that's kind of like that double-edged sword where it's like now the market value for all these receivers is going at least $25 million. I mean, Christian Kirk getting how much money? You know, I mean, even for number 2 receiver, the pay is just going to substantially increase, even with the cap numbers even going up with the TV deals next year. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
So then, get fine.
No, I was just gonna say, are you surprised? You just brought up the cap possibly going up next year with all the TV revenue. Are you still surprised that they structured some of the deals the way they did? I think it's like DJ Reed making $14 million next year. Tomlinson, I think, is on the hook for 17.2. Were you surprised by the way they structured that, or no?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we always took Douglas for a frugal guy who's not going to really overpay. I mean, $14 million for a quarterback who, I mean, he ranked great in PFF, but I mean, PFF has its own own issues at times. But
yeah,
I think he needed to make a splash. He made splashes. He made contracts that he wasn't shortchanging. He paid fair market price, maybe a little bit more for DJ Reed and Lincoln Tomlinson to bring them in here. But the cap doesn't really bother me at all because the Saints have unloaded are able to acquire potentially Deshaun Watson, and they've been in cap hell. So it's like Joe Douglas actually knows how to manage the books, unlike the accountant that we had in Israel. Yeah, so I'm not too worried. The only contract we still have that's really on the books that's a big hit is still CJ Mosley. So after this year, I don't know if he's going to come back next year. I mean, maybe he will, just to be kind of like Joe Douglas, since I don't know if he did anything with him in Baltimore, but just kind of give him like that thank you for doing what you did, and hopefully maybe CJ Mosley takes a pay cut. I just love his leadership qualities and keeping
it's pretty interesting when you start looking at like the cap numbers for like the top 7-8 guys. They account for about like 120 million next year, but on like 5 or 6 of them you could pretty much get out from the deal completely, between like Mosley, Corey Davis, Carl Lawson. So like you might have your core in place right now, or the team could look completely different going into next year. A lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and that's all Joe Douglas wants. He wants to be flexible without overpaying egregiously and looking like an idiot, like Mekhi Becton doing a $5 million over market value per annual for CJ Mosley for an inside linebacker. So I mean, with JD being in the mix for Tyreek Hill, I love that he was aggressive. I love that he was willing to give up the 2 second-round picks, and that actually held a lot of value, considering that a lot of the spillover comes at 35, 36, 37, 38 in terms of picks. Like that's where we got Elijah Moore. Like Elijah Moore was not really thought to even be close to the second round, and all of a sudden he just slips through the cracks. I would have loved Tyreek Hill, but I think he's gonna do ass in Miami because Tua is gonna be throwing the ball behind him, so he's gonna have to slow down his routes.
Yeah, but I mean, they are. You got to give Miami credit though, and I hate doing that. Is they are building around Tua though. They've gave him all kinds of weapons to build around now. You have Gesicki, you have Parker, you have Hill. I mean, they got
third wideout now. Crazy.
I mean, they got talent down there, man. So that's. If you want to see what Tua can do, you're gonna find out this year, especially with an offensive-minded coordinator or a head coach.
Yeah, so I mean, they brought in the guy from San Francisco, so I feel like part of them wants Tua to fail, like not intentionally, right? So like because obviously this coaching staff didn't handpick him, so maybe they want potentially a restart. I mean, after the third year, you're pretty much
Well, no, I don't think it's that. This is a make or break. But listen, we're giving you our offense. It'll be a high, an offense that give you every chance to succeed. You have a ton of playmakers around you. If you don't pan out this year, be like, you know what, time to go. This is like a make or break. I don't think they want him to fail, but they're going to give him every chance to succeed. And if he doesn't, be like, listen, we gave you a chance here. We gave you, everything to work with.
And they have 2 first-rounders next year to make something happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Tua does well, he was able to operate the offense, and that's all they were asking him to do. They won, 9 games in a row last year, so he was able to operate within the confines of the offense and not kill his team. So Miami's going to be a force to be reckoned with. The whole AFC is just absolutely insane. Like, they actually created a super division. It's not even fair. So that comes up to my question is what do you guys think is a reasonable expectation for this year? Like, I would love to be in the playoff picture, or like potentially be in the playoff run when it comes to end of December, but I think it's gonna be more meaningful now if we are in that playoff picture, considering how good all these teams are in the AFC.
I'm still thinking at least 7 wins, man. 7, 6, 7, 8 wins. I'm hoping like 7, 8, 9 wins, but you got to take a big step here, man. You have to. You really have to.
So, similar to last year, I still don't think it really needs to be defined by wins and losses. More so, like, are you competitive against good teams? Are you matching the teams like Buffalo, Dolphins, playing at least like 3.5 competitive quarters? Are you in it in the fourth quarter in those games? Are you in it in December at the end of the year? Like, to me, that's important.
I agree.
Yeah, if we could do everything like we did with the Bucks, hang in there. I mean, I don't even care if we lose. It was an entertaining game. We should have won that game.
Yeah, games like that, absolutely.
And you need Zach Wilson to play very well too, man. He's got to play like the way he ended the season. He's got to grow off of that and take a bigger step too.
Yeah,
see, that call was painless. You did a good job, man. You did all right. You no big mistakes or anything.
Not this time, at least.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
You too, man.
You too, man.
That shirt is looking sharp, man. Looking good.
So
we have back-to-back calls
again.
Back-to-back calls where a lot of just good energy here, no controversy, no arguments. This is my kind of show, man.
Somebody's gonna ruin it.
No, we're gonna stay positive here. We'll go to our good friend Bubs. The one thing about Bubs, he gets some criticism because we always think he's reading notes. Doesn't it always seem like he's reading notes? He's got like an agenda when he calls and he goes through his talking points.
Nothing wrong with having notes. He's prepared.
What's up, man?
True podcaster. What's up, Bubs?
I was just thinking maybe Steve could go compete for the tackle job with Becton.
He could. He looked buff, man.
Depth.
Yeah. But I hope you guys are doing good. I wasn't able to call in last week because of the schedule, but I was able to get in today. But
schedule. What were you doing? What were you so busy that you couldn't call in? Let's hear this schedule.
I got baseball this time of year for me.
Do you play or coach, or what do you do?
I play.
What position?
Third in pitcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. So where do you? So wait, are you a starter? Yeah, let's hear this. Let's get some dirt here.
What time are you playing you?
Wait, what was that again? Sorry, my thing.
Where do you play at?
I'm just over in I'm in Somerset County, so I play for my local high school. I'm on the high school team this year, so we pretty much.
I don't think we travel to Somerset.
Basically just practice every day, so I wasn't able to get in last week or call in last week. So
what kind of pitcher are you, man? Are you like a junk pitcher? You got a fastball? What do you throw?
I mean, I'd mix it up: fastball, change, curve. Still working on my curveball a little bit. My changeup is definitely my stronger off-speed pitch. My curveball, I'm still playing a little bit more like a slider, so I have to get on top of it more. So it's more of a 12-6 action on it, but still working on it. So,
well, I'll tell you the same thing I tell to all my pitchers. The three most important things: location, movement, velocity, in that order. Everybody's so focused on lighting up the radar gun. If you could locate the shit out of the ball and if you can move it, you'll be fine. So just focus on those two things.
No, yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter if you could throw 90 but can't control it. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You're gonna walk everybody in.
So we learned something tonight. This is a resident baseball expert. We got two experts here in baseball. This is great.
Call myself an expert, but thank you.
So then, Bubs, based on what you know, should I be worried about Garrett Cole? The fact that he isn't that the sticky stuff anymore?
I mean, I'm a Yankee fan too, so to a certain extent, I'm cautious. I'm kind of it's a wait and see game for me because last season he had. After the sticky stuff went down, he did have that shutout in Houston where he was dominant. But then he also had the start in Boston where he couldn't get through the third inning in a wild card game. So it's it's kind of hopefully he worked on in the offseason.
He's no DeGrom.
Hopefully this year, he has a good year. So
all right, so now we'll let you talk Jets because I did that just to piss everybody off in the chat because they get mad when we go off topics. I just want to piss them off a little bit. So tell us your thoughts on the Jets.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Douglas, and I know, like you guys said, I mean, watching or listening Woody speak makes me lose brain cells, but
it's true.
To what Douglas and Saul are saying, like you guys said, they're saying all the right things. They're saying the things to get the fan base excited, get the fan base, optimistic and ready for the season and ready, or as we get closer and closer to the season. I know we're still ways out, but getting us excited and getting us optimistic for, because it's been a franchise that there hasn't been much optimism around the past decade. But one of the things that I really took away from the interview was the line where he said we need to be playing, meaningful games in December. And I know, he's saying the right things. He's going to say stuff. He's going to sound optimistic. But to me, that gives me confidence and optimism in this front office because it's finally, I think Douglas and Saleh realized that finding them two have, they're showing a sense of urgency, bringing in guys that are winning, bringing in guys that are experienced, good for the locker room. I think for them, the honeymoon phase is over. Last season is done. 100%. Now it's you got to win games. You got to improve. That goes for the players on the roster too. Last season, Wilson, was kind of got a pass for some of his struggles this year. He's got to come out. He's got to play well. There's no excuses. Second year. We'll see what they do with the receiver if they go out and get a big name. But I think it's finally refreshing to see that coach and the GM legitimately are showing a sense of urgency, showing a sense of like, we got to get this thing right. We got to get this thing turned, and we got to get back to winning, because if we win 5 games next year, that's not going to do it. You got to show 7, 8 wins, be competitive. None of this, by week 5, we're talking about the draft, win, in games.
You're right,
like,
man.
And like Sneakers the Boot said it, he said it right. Even if you're losing games, but if you're in games like we were against the Buccaneers, and you're showing and you're being competitive, you're scoring, you're making plays, you're at least not the laughingstock of the league, and you're competitive, and you're going up against some of the good teams, the Bills, look at the AFC stacked. But it's refreshing to finally see that for an organization that hasn't had that in so long. So
and that's why I think it's so important for them to just kind of focus on their own process, not look so much at the rest of the league, because everybody's getting better. Everybody's stacking building blocks on top of building blocks, building around their quarterback over several years in the same system. Like, if we're trying to play catch up with all these teams, it's never going to happen. But if you focus just on your own program, building your own thing here, just acquiring talent year after year, eventually, hopefully soon, we're going to get there.
Yeah, I agree. Just like you said, continuing to build and get this team back on track. I do have one quick thing, a question for you guys. I know you guys kind of touched upon it earlier on. I know you guys don't. I mean, I kind of feel the same way. For the right amount, I would love to bring in a big time receiver. I love that Douglas was aggressive and went out for Hill. We didn't get him, but I love that he was aggressive and took the chance on him. But if I know not many Jets fans are overly optimistic that something's, or overly, I don't have the expectation something's going to happen. But if something did happen, who is your preferable target? Out of DK, Deebo Samuel's a pipe dream. I think. I don't think he's going to, especially San Francisco with Trey Lance. They're going to try to build around him.
I'd take AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, yeah.
I would too.
AJ Brown in a heartbeat. He's just a dog. Best friends with Elijah Moore. They got that connection. I know DK does too, but it just seems like those two are really tight, and I think they'd be a nice 1-2 punch together.
Yeah, I agree. And I was going to bring up the point too with Elijah Moore, already have kind of that chemistry. They're close already, know each other, and he's just Deebo. I would love, but that's happening.
Unreal.
Yeah, he's one of the elite playmakers in the NFL right now. They're not giving him up, man. He's young too. Yeah.
I think if you're gonna even get Deebo, you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to go both first, which that's not happening.
No, I'm definitely out.
And I think AJ Brown too. Like, if you had to pick between AJ Brown and DK, like DK, I know I've said it a couple times. Like, he's that kind of guy you don't know if you want in the young locker room. AJ Brown seems to be more of a a leader. Seems to be more of a guy that go to better around young players. He's obviously been a part of a winning team in Tennessee, gotten to the playoffs a couple times. So,
I agree.
Well said.
Yeah. Excellent call, man. Good job.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, man.
Oh. See that? We talked some baseball. We talked some Yankees. We talked everything. This has been impressive here. So we go through the comments real quick. I could just see these comments, man.
What are these comments about my neck? What's going on with my neck?
I guess because
does my neck look funny? So I'm hunched over.
Yeah, because you're hunched over, like your sweatshirt.
I got like 4 layers on. I was outside practicing tonight. I'm still like thawing out.
Let's see what we got here. Where's all the Notre Dame talk? Come on, man. I don't bring up anything with Hamilton. I wait till the chat to do that. I haven't said a word. I'm on my best behavior. Let's see. We got pitching advice for Bubs, which is always good. Let's see. In order to land AJ Brown, I think one of our first would have to be involved. Yeah, I mean that could be true too.
I'm not giving up 4 or 10 though. Would you give up a first rounder next year? I think I would do that.
That's a good question. I may do that
with the expectation that we would win 7 or 8 games. That's probably like pick 14 or 15, something like that. I would do that.
Let's see. I guess. All right, prime time. I'll let you choose the next one. You didn't miss much, Curtis. We had 3 excellent calls, including Steve. Steve did a very good job tonight, which is remarkable.
You're gonna make me choose?
You're choosing, man.
All right, so I could either. I want chaos tonight. So who's gonna bring that out? Probably Joe, right?
Who do you want, Jomo?
No, Joe. You always fight with him.
Although
it looked like Kieran was like making food before.
We gotta bring Joe on. Oh, come on, man. What's up, man?
What's the beef, Tyson? I've had some pretty good calls the last few times. It was one time I had a bad call.
When you were lit up.
Yeah, I was lit up. It happens.
It does happen.
Steve. I don't like that reaction. Anyways. First, I listened to both of their press conferences, the whole thing. So I had nothing better to do with my life. And I liked what they said. Like you said, Tyson, it seemed like they were in sync. I liked how Douglas said this team's got to start winning games. He acknowledged we got to start winning games. The two big things that stood out, everything else was kind of in passing. Like there were a couple jokes that took out of context. Like we're going to bare knuckle box over the tackle. Yeah. It's not like that's not what he meant if you watched it. Yeah. But anyways,
I thought they were actually going to fight.
No, like people were taking that as the Jets are taking a tackle or an edge. Like no, like he didn't. It was just a joke. But anyways, the one thing that kind of concerned me is I'm a big Becton defender. Like I've defended him, I think, every time I've come on. But the fact that neither of them were committal about him participating in OTAs is like, that's weird. Like that's really weird. Like it's one thing if you're out till week 17 or week 18 or whatever, like cool, season-ending injuries happen. But like with this, you got to think like something happened in his recovery, whether it was him or the doctor, where there was just like a big setback. Like
or it was a lot more serious than they're telling us.
Exactly. Or they misdiagnosed it. But like I don't know. I feel like they'd be more like more hesitant to say it was a huge setback. Because that makes everyone look bad than to say they could easily say 2 weeks later we misdiagnosed it, he's getting surgery, he'll be out for however long.
But the interesting thing is right now they don't look bad. Becton looks bad because they told this all 6 to 8 weeks. I think it was 6 to 8 weeks, and he's out the whole year. Then it was rumors like he wasn't in shape, he wasn't doing this, he gained too much weight, all this other shit.
Yeah.
So right now, most Jet fans are angry at Becton because they think that a lot of this is his fault. If the Jets misdiagnosed something or they weren't completely forthcoming with us, that's a really bad look on their part, man. And if we're being fair, the Jets have been really bad with injuries in the past, including.
I hate how much smoke he's getting. Like I'm 22, he's 22. If I was dealing with fucking people on Twitter all day telling me I was fat and lazy and like I worked my whole life to be the 11th pick in the draft, I played great as a rookie, and then some fucking guy falls on my knee and I miss the rest of the season. I have the fans of my own team shitting on me. Like that would come on. Like that's just it's weird to do. First of all, like find something better to do with your time, and it's just so unnecessary. Like.
But you don't think I agree with you completely, but you don't think he's like feeding into it now? Or like he's just
he is, but like I said, like
big bust on his headline.
It'd be hard for me to see a bunch of random people with no profile picture who probably haven't done an athletic thing in 10 years.
That's the whole thing. That you don't know who these people are. Just stay off Twitter. Don't respond to them.
I agree. Someone should tell him like stop.
Revis told him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
ignore all the hate.
Yeah.
Focus on what you got to do. Show up healthy to training camp. Your play should speak for itself.
If this doesn't motivate him now, though, man, if he doesn't come back like a complete beast, I mean, it's never going to happen.
Then it's can't. But I mean, I would definitely bring in a depth tackle still. Billy Turner got signed. The guy I was saying last week.
He did.
There's guys out there. We can get them. Someone might get cut. So I think we should definitely.
But here's a question for you, though. And this is a question we're getting a lot, though, is obviously not in the first 2 rounds, but would you draft a tackle?
I mean, I wouldn't care if we took a tackle 3rd, 4th, 5th, right? Sure. Like you could always use line depth. Our guys aren't Fant's not going to be here for 10 years. Like if the guy looks great in practice, you can always say he's a replacement for Fant. Like you can move him inside. Like you know,
would you extend Fant?
What?
Would you extend Fant?
It really depends. I would wait till training camp and see what position he's playing and how comfortable you feel with him at that position. If he's left tackle 2 weeks into training camp, you know he's your left tackle and you feel really good, then extend him. That's your left tackle. But if he comes in and he's switching positions, give him 4 or 5 weeks to prove he's a good right tackle and do what you did with Franklin Myers and extend him in week 5. Like you don't have to do it now. You control him, you know? So
fair enough.
I would be patient with it. And the other thing that kind of caught me off guard was moving Vera Tucker to the right side. Like I get it in the sense that hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Like Tomlinson's been playing left side 8 years straight. It's hard to do. And Vera Tucker was playing left tackle last year at USC. And then he played left guard here. I think the year before they played right tackle, the year before they played right guard. So he's capable of switching positions. So I understand at this point doing it, but it's more so if you thought you had to do that with Tomlinson, and they clearly knew it, to have his old line coach in the building, all that, why wouldn't you just sign a right guard? Like we gave him a lot of money, you know. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now. But it was just a little confusing to me that you're going to sign a guy and prepare to move your first round. I don't know. It was a little odd. I didn't. But I think he'll be fine. He's a good athlete. Like
it's an interesting decision, man. Like it's funny because we're in a time now where everybody's so positive Jets that if you start to question any little thing, you get called negative and you're an asshole Jet fan. Exactly. But it's interesting because you make a good point, dude. You have Vera Tucker, who most of us are calling a Pro Bowl level talent at left guard. So if you have that, then why don't you keep him where he's at, let him keep growing with it, and then sign a right guard? But then they have the familiarity with Tomlinson where they say, you know what? Maybe this will work out too. It's a fair discussion to have.
Especially like going into year 2 is where like things should start to slow down a little bit. You should be a little more calm. Like your head's not spinning as much as it is your rookie year. Now you're learning a new position. Like how does that affect him?
He did struggle a little bit early in the season. He really turned it on. But pass protection those first 3 or 4 weeks, he was missing he was making a couple mistakes. You know, it's nothing against him. He was a rookie.
The whole line was out of sync early on.
Exactly. I mean, Van Roten was one of the worst. I've seen a lot of bad football players. It's one of the worst football players I've ever seen. That's a starter in the NFL. He was terrible.
I mean, it's a risky proposition because now you're reshuffling your entire offensive line again. That's like we thought we had some kind of continuity. Now it may not be the case because you figure you could have had your whole left side solidified. Say you have Fant, Vera Tucker, McGovern. Like, all right, these 3 are good. We make some shuffling on the right. You know, like in theory, that could have been like.
And another thing building off of that is, I don't want this competition with him and Becton to drag out into the 4th week of training camp, and then you announce it before the first game, and then week 1, whoever has to switch to the right side is getting torched, and they're coming out giving excuses saying, "Oh, well, he's been playing left side all." You know, like I don't want that to happen either. You got to make the choice early, let him get comfortable there, like be confident in your ability as a coach to determine who the better player is, and just.
I think they'll probably do that though. I don't think. What do you think? I don't think that competition will be all that long.
The only reason I say that is because they let it drag out last year with Fant and Moses.
Yeah,
for a long time. They remember we thought it was Moses all off season, and then they switched it like 2 days before. So
I think personally we're gonna know within like the first 2 weeks, just as far as how Becton shows up. You know, if he's dominating practices, moving back to his natural spot on the left side, like you were saying before, Tyson, him right next to Tomlinson, great guy to learn from. You know, I think ultimately, if he's healthy like he was his rookie year, you leave him at his natural position. If not, move him over to the right side because Fant was better last year and he earned it.
I agree. And then the other thing I was going to say is the Tyreek Hill trade, or almost trade, that was encouraging to me. Like the fact that he was willing to – it showed that he really – like when he didn't go after Cooper, it wasn't that he didn't want to spend the money. It's that his thinking is, I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to get an elite player. Like, I'm not just going to get some guy that's bordering on – I didn't like it at the time, and now I can see his logic. I'm not going to get some guys bordering on top 20, gotten worse the last few years, injury problems. I'm going to pay someone $25 million into draft capital. It's going to be the right guy, and he's 100% going to work. So I like that. That was very encouraging. I don't know if we're going to go out and get A.J. Brown or Debo. I think if they're available, they'll definitely be very.
I don't know where this Debo Samuel thing's coming from. I don't. There's no way he's available.
Last year of his rookie deal.
He's also he is an elite game-changing talent for the 49ers. Their offense is all about him, man.
Exactly. And they're gonna get rid of Jimmy G, and his money could go right to Debo.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I just think the thought process amongst a lot of fans right now is that nobody saw the Devontae Adams trade coming, nobody saw the Tyreek Hill trade coming. Now those guys got paid, they got the bag. All the other receivers that have contracts they're going to be asking for the same thing. So if these teams aren't meeting their contracts, it seems like the consensus, I guess, is that they're just going to let these guys go shop, let the agents find a new home for them, and find someone that's going to pay them.
Yeah, exactly. So they're a little concerned about, but even if that doesn't happen, we could do it in the draft. I'm not totally against waiting until the second round. It's a little risky.
Oh, I hate for receiver. I can't.
If you wait till the second round, I go in the second and third.
I'll be just blow torching everything.
So I see what you're saying. You want to get your guy, but also you look at the second round receivers from the past 3 years. Like they've been Pittman, T. Higgins, AJ Brown.
Get your guy. Get the guy that you think is the best at that spot. I don't want to wait, man.
Yeah,
you'd be okay moving up though, right?
Absolutely.
100%. Going to 22 or something. Yeah. And getting Olave or Treylon Burks or something I'd love that. That'd be fine with that too. It's just be less than getting Hill or whatever. But I think
you can get too cute in the draft, and you got to when you're part of your draft plan is praying somebody's going to fall to you. It's not a good plan in my opinion. Get the guy you want.
I agree. But if they do that, we might end up taking a guy that everyone's going to call a reach. Maybe they think Olave is the best receiver in the draft. You never know. So I'm just saying, be prepared for that. And the last thing,
yes, sir.
And the last thing I would say is I see too much with us with our fan base. We do this every year. Is don't say with a player, like, it's okay to say you prefer one guy over another, but don't say with a player, I don't want this guy. He's going to be a bust. He's going to suck. First and foremost, you probably watch no tape on him. You watch his highlight tape on YouTube, 3 minutes of him play. You're not a scout. Maybe you play high school football. But, like, I just hate when people, like, do that, because then if we end up actually taking them, then they're all forced to back up their opinion that was based on nothing that they pulled out of their ass, saying that this kid's going to suck, and they did it with Wilson last year. Like, very adamant. I don't want Wilson.
According to Jets Twitter, Denzel Mims should be in the Pro Bowl already. No?
I'm just saying, like, I don't like when we just, like, throw prospects to the guard. Like, what if we take Kyle Hamilton number 4? Yeah, maybe you don't love it, but, like, you're going to sit there because you've been tweeting for 4 months that it's the worst draft pick in NFL history. You're going to have to sit there for the next 2 years trying to hope that he doesn't look good so that, like, you don't look like an idiot. Like, come on. Like, we don't have to. Same with Thibodeau. Like,
I think most fans will have their takes prior to the draft, but then once that player is actually a Jet, they usually put those opinions aside.
I feel like maybe it's just because he was a quarterback, but with Wilson, that dragged on. It still drags on. He didn't prove, like, I guess he didn't prove some of the people wrong as much as you think.
Quarterback is tough, dude, because we've been so desperate for a franchise quarterback since name it. So quarterback is always gonna get scrutinized because all these guys have flamed out. Look at Darnold. I mean, everybody loved Darnold. Look what happened there. So, like, I think right now it's the nervousness of not knowing what Zach Wilson's going to be. That's fair, dude. Because if you weren't a Zach Wilson fan going into it, last year didn't really inspire you all that much. Like, all right, I saw some things, but he's not really impressing me. But if you are a fan of Zach Wilson, you take the opposite approach. Like, you know what? I'm encouraged a little bit. We saw some flashes. But
I always go with, after we take him, I'm just going to support him. I wanted Justin Fields, but, like, at this point,
we were forced to support fucking Adam Gase. We'll support anybody, man, because
fair enough.
Like, we hated the hire. We go off for about 2 weeks, and we're like, you know what? We're stuck with this clown now. We got to embrace it and hope it all works out.
Fair enough. Larry just said it. I was just more saying, like, don't get convinced too much with your own opinions. Like, same with Thibodeau. Like, you've never met him. You've never had a conversation with him. You watched an interview of him. Maybe he came off as a little cocky to you, but you're going to tell me how bad of a person he is and how terrible. You've never talked to him. Like,
a little cockiness is a good thing.
You can't convince me that. Yeah. And the big thing is they're comparing him with Jamal, and, like, Jamal was a lot different. Like, Jamal's loud. Like, when you listen to Kayvon talk, he seems pretty laid back, you know, like Jamal was loud. He wanted to tell everyone he was the best player. It's a little different in my opinion, but I just did what I said not to do. But anyways,
good job, man. Have a great call tonight.
All right, boy. I'll see you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You know, and the interesting thing is, it's like with the draft, man, it's a crapshoot, dude. We've learned this. There is nothing guaranteed. And that's one of the benefits of being a longtime Jets fan, because I'm older than shit, is that I've been through all the drafts where everybody told me how great the players were going to be, and a year later they sucked. They were terrible. I mean, we've been through them. We know the list. We go on and on and on. Every draft pick, this guy's a stud, this guy's a sleeper, and this and that, and all this other shit. And a year later, we're like, man, this draft class sucks.
The best is, like, the positional rankings too. It's like nobody goes back and adjusts their rankings for, like, the Tyreek Hills that go to round 5 when, you know, the talk beforehand was that, oh, there's no receivers in this draft class. Or when, you know, guys like Dak Prescott going round 3, Russell Wilson, like, nobody accounts for those guys that slip to the mid rounds that nobody ever noticed that are probably the best at their position. So.
Yeah, so for all the draft analysts, like, once the pick is made, you share your insight, and then everybody you embrace it. Like, all right, these guys are our Jets now. Hopefully they get coached up. And you don't know how their game is going to translate to the NFL. You're guessing. You don't know how they're going to handle the fame, how they're going to handle the pressure, how they're going to handle the competition. There's so many things that happen.
How the organization is going to handle their development too. I mean, that's exactly a big thing also.
A lot changes, man.
And everything here is relatively unproven still.
What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing well. Hope your hand is doing better. He's got some injuries over there.
Who do you punch?
You got a hurt hand. I'll let him share that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. If anything, I trust Joe Douglas, the general manager, and he has been making mostly all the right moves, even when I disagree with them. Yeah, I mean, last year's draft class is very encouraging. The free agent moves this year are encouraging. You know, the year before, not so much, but we're going to blame that on Gase. So that's the kind of way it's going to work, I guess.
Trust the vision.
Yep. Let's see. You always want to talk, man. You remember Johnny Land Jones? I've been through it longer than you, but I believe, I think there's a lot of players. Listen, we'll see. We'll just see how it works out. What's up, Ryan? We'll go. All right, prime time. So you chose you hope for chaos and you didn't get it. So
yeah, I give up. It's just
I know you did.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look who's here.
Maybe this will bring some chaos.
Can't see him though. You put your light on, man.
Yeah, I can't see him either.
Yo, what up, fellas?
We can't see you, man.
Didn't you invest in a new light?
Yo, I know. I'm in the car, bro. I'm not in the truck. I'm in the car. So
Are you parked?
I had the car.
Bro, if you're driving, dude, you don't do the show, man. We cannot be responsible for you.
I'm parked.
Can't multitask like I do.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great show tonight, though. I must say, great show tonight. Great. Last call was amazing.
So since we can't be, this could be challenging because we can't really see, man. Like we see like the spot on your shirt, like the white spot on your shirt. But the question I have for you is, today is March 29th, and
yes, sir.
And then there was a conversation that me and you had about you're going to make one video a week, and if you don't make one video a week, that you'll be doing a shotgun. Was that the conversation we had?
That was true, sir. That was true.
That was 12. So then over the last 12 days, which is much longer than a week, there's only been one video. So we'll be discussing that shotgun.
It was two videos. It was two videos.
Yo.
Man,
I thought he said 3 a week.
He's like, I'll make him like 1, 2, 3 a week, man. I'm on this, man. I'm motivated.
Hey, I'm making one tomorrow, so I'm just saying.
It's not like there's been anything to talk about. Joe Douglas didn't talk to the media. Salah didn't meet the media. Tyreek Hill wasn't traded.
They signed Solomon Thomas. They signed a couple kickers. I mean, just
not a lot of news.
Content.
Listen, let me say this right here though. Like, and I've been having these debates. Like, people will be, especially on Facebook. I have
those debates on a video.
Yo. And I want to make one thing clear, man, because this wide receiver thing. I guess I'm the guy who hates wide receivers now. What I'm saying to you is, man, I want what's best for the team, and whatever Joe Douglas feels is best. If taking a linebacker and a cornerback at 4 and 10 is what he wants to do,
but Tyrone, we don't pay you the big bucks for you to give this politically correct bullshit. I want what's best for the team. We want you to tell us, Tyrone, what Tyrone thinks is best for the team.
What Tyrone thinks is best for the team? Yo, actually, listen, man. Listen. If Thibodeau's there at 4, I want Thibodeau. I do. I do. If
we're talking receiver
there,
though,
yo, I'm okay with Joe D moving up in the later rounds or moving back at 10 and grabbing one of those guys. I mean, especially depends on what they value. I mean, to me, I like the kid from Ohio State, and I understand where everybody's come from. The kid is absolutely going to be a beast. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how he's rated on the thing. I like the kid London. I like him as well. I like the kid Burks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, which one do you like the most?
None of them at 10, apparently.
I definitely say the kid from Ohio State, Wilson. I think I like him the most.
Yeah. All right, that's fair enough.
I like him the most. But let me ask you guys a question. Okay, so you guys are saying grab a receiver, right? Now, what if we make a trade for Brown? You know what I'm saying? What if Brown's available?
Well, that completely
changes everything.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Joe D wants to make a move. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Tyreek Hill thing, and I'm gonna tell you this right here, man. I love the fact that he was even in that. The only problem I have with that is, you know what I'm saying, that and everyone is making a big deal out of it. He chose to go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? And who would blame him? You know what I'm saying? That's home. That's where he wants to be at. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he got to see us twice a year. So good luck going across the middle, man. I'm just, hey.
Well, I mean, the Jets did everything right there, man. They got themselves in position. They got the compensation agreed to with the Chiefs. They did it right. And if I had a choice between playing in Miami or playing in New Jersey, I'm going to Miami too, man. You talk about money, family, weather, life. I mean, it is just nothing. That's it. So I'm with them.
And I agree, and at the same time, listen, that would have been a great move. But listen, we see what he's trying to do, man. He's trying to build his team correctly. And the Becton thing right here, listen, I think the big fella's gonna come in and be ready to go from day one. You know what I'm saying? He has to let the social media. He has to let the social media aspect go. You know what I'm saying? He has to let the people in his ears. You know what I'm saying? What does it mean? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a bunch of fat ass people, overweight or didn't even get any playing time. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're in the era where everybody gets a fucking trophy. You know what I'm saying? Or everybody makes an AAU team. I have a friend of mine that in his league is 30 AAU teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, if your kid's not good enough, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Tyson, you do what you do. You train fighters. So if fighters is not ready to go, what do? Prime time, you're a baseball coach. You know what it is. If a kid sucks, he sits his ass down. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are so, as fans, man, listen, I'm a fan. I'm fat. I can't do the shit he doing. Just being real with you. So how can I judge that man?
We don't body judge around here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's just what we do. Hey, look, hey, listen, hey, update on my diet, dog. Just want to let y'all know, man.
I was just gonna ask, yeah. How you doing?
Yo, hey, look, the big fella's under 400. Yo, show me some love, baby. Show me some love.
So how many pounds have you lost?
How many pounds?
I'm at like 36 right now. But I'm, you know
and
what?
And how many weeks?
What has it
so
been?
Like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, about that. And I'm doing it the right
Started
way.
Like mid-February.
Yeah, when I hurt my knee, so that was a week, pushed me a week behind, being able to exercise much. But nah, man, I'm be honest with you guys, man. I'm doing it the right way. I feel better. I'm getting used to eating the stuff I want to eat now. So I'm kind of like,
good.
Rice cakes are really becoming my best friend. They nasty as hell, but hey, you know what I'm saying? But I'm working on it. I'm watching my
natural
portions.
jelly on them.
Yo, you know what, Tyson? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I've got it now to where I'm counting my calories before I eat. I'm watching what I eat. I'm watching how I eat. I'm watching,
So how does, when you're counting the calories, how does the Jameson work into that? Are those good calories or bad calories?
What do you mean?
Everybody's congratulating you. You can't see the chat. You can't see the chat, but everybody's very happy for you. They're congratulating you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Man. Listen, you know what? I met a guy, right? And I was getting my salad or whatever, and I was eating while I was getting loaded. And this guy, man, came over to me. He said, "Man, you're like 6'8", right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What, you about 4?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I just got under 4." He's like, "Man," he's like 6'2". I said, "Man, you probably about 475." He was like, "Bro, how'd you know?" I said, "I'm a big dude. We don't look our size. If you saw me, bro, I'm a big dude, but I don't look that way that much. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
So what happens is, you know what I'm saying, like, just it's not healthy. So I had to make a whole lifestyle change. It's not just losing weight. It's a lifestyle change. And like Tyson with your run, it's a mentality, because sometimes, like, I want some cookies. You know what I do now? I can eat 3 Oreos. And bro, let me tell you something. Those 3 Oreos, bro, are amazing. Because listen, when I eat now, bro, I enjoy my food. I take my time. Like, I just scarf it down. Bro, you should see me eat an Oreo. My girl was like, "Baby, that's kind of sexy." You know what I'm just saying? Hold on. I'm just saying, bro. I'm about to enjoy that.
I don't know how we got eating Oreos as being sexy, but we got brand caller on. We got to change this shit up. Vincent, what's up, man?
Of course, my favorite guy. What up, V?
What?
We got a guitar.
Oh my God. No. What's up? Oh, I saw you talking about the Yankees. You know what the problem is with the Yankees?
What's that?
Yeah, they suck.
They think their farts smell like perfume.
It's probably right. You're probably right here. Probably right.
You brought me on the show with
this. So what are some of your thoughts, Vincent?
Well, right now, like I said, I like the move for the Tyreek Hill. It's unfortunate that it couldn't happen. I don't know if, like, I don't trust, like, the New York media that they say is true, but I read somewhere that it was like a last minute decision to go to Miami.
Well, they gave him the option. They had 2 choices. Miami got involved late.
I heard like he was like
depends what story you read.
Yeah, it all depends on which media outlet you read. One media outlet says, "Oh, he was 2 seconds away from signing," and then Miami sweetened like the contract deal the last second, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to Miami."
Yep, that is what it is, man. They tried, didn't work out. I mean, that's.
Well, I like the fact that they're aggressive. You got to respect that they identified the guys they wanted, and they went and they did their best to go get them.
I agree. I completely agree.
Absolutely.
What the hell's all those noises over there? You got your phone vibrating. You got your email coming in.
Are you doing your homework, Vincent? Are you studying for your DMV test?
Oh, I'm gonna do one of those those online tests, the practice runs tomorrow.
Okay.
There you go. Good.
Hey, Vincent, good luck, I got a question for you, Vincent. DMV question. How many feet do you stop from a railroad track?
I didn't get to that chapter yet. I was on.
Hold
on defensive.
Vincent, it's multiple choice. 15, 25, 50.
I'm gonna guess 25.
Okay, you guessed wrong. But keep reading. I got you. We're here for you.
I have the book on me right now, honestly.
No, we can just skip the driving test. Tyrone, I hate you, man.
Don't blame this shit on me. I just got it.
So what else is going on, Vincent?
I don't know, y'all. Looking forward towards the draft. Listen to like the Well, this is the press conferences, but when you take away from the press conferences,
damn it, I can't.
This is what I love about this
every
show,
time,
man.
dude. Every time.
Like seriously, someone in my family always has the knack of calling at the wrong time. No matter what it is, they always have.
Yeah, we're just walking into your room.
Vincent, do you realize like we on the air, baby? This is live. You know what? Man, you know what this is? Hey, Vincent, you control this your phone. Hey, look, man, don't make me Will Smith you, baby. I don't want to Will Smith you, Vincent. Come on now, stop playing. Will Smith, come on, man, stop playing.
I can't fucking do it anymore. God damn it, Vincent. So how's your dog doing, man?
Dogs are doing fine. Like I said, when I got away from the press conferences, that it's clearly evident that Edge is going to be the first. Probably looking at Edge at 4th pick, wide receiver at 10, barring some change.
This shit right here, man. I need a raise, man. I ain't get paid enough for this, man. I work all day long, dude. Listen, buddy. Hey, so Vincent. Hey, let's get to your song, Vincent. Where your song at, man? Let me hear what you play today, bro. What you gonna play me today?
Yeah, play some music.
Hey, can I make a request, Vincent?
Foo Fighters.
No, I can do White Stripes.
I can't get the request.
That's what I was practicing right now.
Tyrone, you don't know no rock music, Tyrone. Come on.
Or I can also just do. I got
the dope song ever.
Okay, let's hear it, Vincent.
No, right now my guitar is tuned in open G, so there's only a couple songs I can play.
All right, well, we'll go with that. We want your best.
Hold on, why can't I get my request?
You want to sit here for a minute and watch me tune this thing into standard?
No, we don't want to do that.
No,
we don't have time.
Hell no. We said,
let him play what he's best at right now.
Well,
I really don't know this song. Anybody know this song?
It almost sounds like the intro for Boardwalk Empire. I have no idea.
I don't know what that song is. What song was that?
It was off White Stripes' second album. It was a cover of Death Letter on their second album.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's. I was wondering if that was it. So give us one that we're all gonna know. Play us one that we all know.
I don't have anything right. I actually don't have anything else right now. Just busy just practicing my own little notes that I was practicing.
So you had.
I'm not either.
No idea.
I was just practicing just my finger technique.
So wait. Right now you're practicing on our stream. You're just practicing your fucking guitar. Like we have nothing else better to do.
So I wanted to ask you a couple questions though.
No, let's do that. Let's go to the questions.
So I want to ask you, how good would this feel? Like I said, right now, like how much would you love to play spoiler to Bill Belichick at the end of his career?
I mean,
I just want to win. I don't even care about Belichick.
Spoiler how?
So yeah, like let's say it's his final season, his final year coaching. He's one win away from setting the record as the all-time wins leader for a head coach. His final game is the Jets, and we absolutely humiliate him. How good would that feel?
Not better than the Super Bowl.
Wouldn't matter to me that much.
I mean,
unless that win like gets us in the playoffs or something.
Well, you wouldn't want to deny him the one. You wouldn't want to deny him the one thing he wants.
No, because then he'll just come back for another year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Yo, I'd rather win a Super Bowl. What about you?
Of all the things for you to think about, that's what you're thinking about? What did Coach K inspire this question?
No, like
what the hell's all that?
Hold on.
What's happening?
Oh, you take your time, man. It's just a live show. I mean, what the fuck? So when you call in Matt O'Leary's show, do you do the same shit? I guarantee you don't, right?
I do similar. What that questions like this? Like ask like, what you wouldn't want to play spoiler to Patriots fan?
But you ask Matt the same questions?
Yeah, I've asked him similar questions.
Okay, just ask him.
Like I said, also another one. Like I want to like how good. Like, I know we're looking at the rumors have come out about the trades, like, Debo, AJ, DK, but how good would it feel? Like, can you imagine Patriots fans if we actually did land?
Who gives a shit about the Patriot fans? You know what I'm worried about now? The Bills. The Bills are the best team in the division. I don't give a fuck about the Patriots anymore.
Can you imagine how they feel right now? Like, can you imagine how they feel? Like, every team in this division has an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, but they don't give a fuck, dude. They won how many Super Bowls over the last 20 years? They don't give a shit. They lived a glorious life in terms of a football fan.
No, they've kind of fallen off the cliff.
Yeah, but dude, you know what? Of all the things they've won, all the success they've had, who cares? I can give two shits. Have a good night, man. Good luck with your test.
All right.
Have a great night, bro.
Have a good night.
Right. Prime time. You want chaos? There you go.
Not that kind.
Chaos, bro.
Can you imagine if this? It's always Patriots related with him, though. I don't know why. That's like the Bills are the class of our division right now. That's what you got to worry about.
Bills already dethroned them.
Now Buffalo should be the measuring stick of what we want to do and how they done it. You know what I'm saying? They done it.
Tyron, you have no car lights in there. You could put nothing on there, like some kind of light on you. There you go. A little better.
I mean, I'm in the car, baby. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
We gotta do something. All right, we will bring on Jared. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, guys? How are you?
How you doing,
What's up, Jared?
Not too bad. Enjoying some Nutter Butters.
There you go.
How are you?
You can only have 3 in honor of Tyrone.
I think I've tripled that
man,
by now.
2. Oh wow. Nah, man, yo, eat 5 for me, bro. Listen, I mean, it's when you hungry, bro, I drink water now. That's what I do. When I'm hungry, I drink a lot of water. So,
yeah. Got that too. So how are you guys?
2 gallons a day now. So let's
We're doing great, man.
My bathroom is so ferocious.
Congrats on the weight loss journey, Tyrone.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. So how you feeling, man, about this upcoming draft and what Jody's done? How you feeling?
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to figuring out what we do with these 2 top 10 picks. We might have to pivot to corner, even though I don't want to, because I'm just trying to draw it out in my head. Like, we have to defend Stephon Diggs. We have to defend Tyreek Hill. We have to defend Jalen Waddle.
Pass rush.
Okay. So you're more comfortable, let's say, going pass rush over corner, no doubt about it.
Slam dunk. Okay. Number 4, pass rush. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
What if the top 3 picks are all pass rushers?
Come on, man. Why you got to read my parade?
I'm just saying. Got to think of every scenario.
Prime time the last 2-3 weeks has been trying to antagonize arguments. I don't know what you are Captain Chaos all of a sudden.
Well, it's very possible that Thibodeau and Hutchinson, at the very least, go in the top 3. So what if one other pass rusher goes? What if Trayvon Walker or Jermaine Johnson also go there? Are you taking the 4th best guy at pick 4?
Yeah, it's definitely a toss-up because you got that elite group in Thibodeau and Hutchinson, and then when those 2 go, now you're almost not, I wouldn't say dipping into the middle tier, but you're definitely taking a step below. There's a gap there. And are you comfortable with playing with fiddling with that next tier of edge rushers as opposed to just solidifying with Sauce guard? But I'm kind of leaning towards what Tyson said. I mean, we need an edge. When was the last time we had a significant edge presence? Sean Ellis, John Abraham,
Abraham, yeah.
You know,
that's it. You know what though? It's an interesting conversation though, because you're talking about, in theory, it could be your 4th best pass rusher against your top, obviously your top ranked corner. So that's a conversation to have, I guess.
We can even pivot the debate till I was thinking in my head today.
Trade
we go
back.
we go Kayvon at 4, then we try to go Sauce at 10 if he's available, and then we play with a wide receiver in the 2nd round.
Yes, sir.
I want a wide receiver presence as well, so I don't really want to have to pivot to that.
If somehow they could pull off what you just said, Thibodeau and Sauce at 4 and 10, I might be okay with it. But then you have to do everything you can to move back into the 1st round and get a receiver. You can't just.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Try to get in the late 20s, mid 20s, maybe trade a 2nd and a 3rd or a 2nd and a 2nd next year, and then grab Burks at the end of the round or something like that.
Yep.
You know,
that's probably the only scenario where I'd be okay with waiting on receiver and not taking them at 10.
I agree. What about you, Tyson? What do you think?
I like what you're saying. I mean, I'm just hell bent on getting a top level receiver in here. So if you want to go, I mean, that 10th pick, I get it. I understand it. But I'm with primetime. Then I'm trading up. I'm trading up and getting back in the 1st round and getting the guys that I want. I don't want to sit. I don't want to. That's a long ass wait, man, to the second round. That's a real long wait for a league that's desperate for wide receivers. So,
and then the draft becomes more emphasized because Tyreek goes to our competitor, our division rival. So now it's like we're almost there. Okay, we can't cry over spilled milk, but we got to figure out the next best step to defend this guy. We have to go up against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill for at least 2 to 3 more seasons. We have to game plan. We have to.
Yeah, I mean, it
sucks though. I ain't. You know,
I agree.
Listen,
he may suck, Tyrone. He may suck, but
we have the better quarterback.
Right, but there's one thing we may have the better quarterback over time, but right now Tua's got a lot more experience. He's got an offensive-minded head coach, and they gave him a shitload of playmakers. So they're giving him the perfect chance to succeed in Miami. If it works out or not, we have no idea, but you better be able to smack him around. You got to knock Tua around, man, and get after him.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You think we do anything else in free agency? You think we make any more depth add-ons, or maybe a surprise trade?
Well, I think that's anything major. They don't have the rumor right now is like, even like Samini said today, like the hype right now is after Joe Douglas's press conference is that the Jets are going to be very aggressive. So everybody's predicting they're going to make one big splash move before the draft. Is that going to happen? I really have no idea. But that's kind of like the rumblings in terms of depth sign. They still got to sign players, man. I still think you need linebacker depth and play. Like they're still going to probably tinker with the roster. I would guess.
I would love another linebacker or two. We really got.
Bobby Wagner still out there? He's still out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he visited somebody a few days ago.
He did.
Baltimore, right? Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it was the Ravens.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I would love
it's going to be a tough year. Oh, for sure. That presence in the locker room, that leadership, coming in here and just continuing to help with the culture building and the character building. Of course, he'd be a perfect fit. Salah would have a field day with somebody like that. So we'll see. It's going to be a tough year. This division, let alone this conference. There goes Tyrone. This division, this conference, it's tough. It's not the NFC. Russell Wilson just came into our competition, and all these other.
But you know what though, dude, and you got to find a way, man. If it's tough, you got to get tougher. Like we can't, we don't have time to feel bad for ourselves. Like, oh, everything's stacked against us. Find ways to overcome adversity. Find ways to, like they kept saying, their like little phrase was close the gap. Close the gap. You got to find ways. You got to be creative. And their way of being creative is making that splash trade, getting game-breaking talent, man. That's the only way to win. It's like they kept saying, it's like hit the quarterback, run the football, all this stuff. It's like Dan just said it. Win the battles in the trenches, establish the line of scrimmage. Like you got to do all this stuff now, and much sooner rather than later, because we can't keep staying complacent and just getting left behind.
No, I've gotten sick of it. The year I'll be very honest. The year that Bryce Petty started to try and be our quarterback is when I really took a break from watching this team, and I was like, I think I've had enough. This is too much. And now I'm really getting back into it as I'm getting older, and I love this team. I've always loved this team, but I'm ready to see this team take the next step. And we talked about this when I was on the show last week. We did this song and dance with Darnold's, and we kind of went in a carousel circle, and none of us have the patience for that anymore. Robert Saleh might, Joe Douglas might, but us as fans, we do not. And
well, but I think the difference this year is that you're seeing their blueprint to build around Zach Wilson. You could see it legit. Like we never really saw what Sam Darnold. There was a clusterfuck around him. Yeah. We really couldn't buy into what they're doing, especially with Gase. But now it's like you see they're getting 2 tight ends. They're trying to solidify the offensive line. They're trying to do a lot of good things. They almost got a all-pro wide receiver. So I have a lot more confidence in how they're trying to build around Zach. I like Mike LaFleur's offense. So there's a lot of really good things there. It's easier to buy into than in years past. Now it's up to them to continue that path. And it's also up to Zach Wilson to take the next step. And he's doing a lot of good things. Like we haven't really talked about that. Like he's flying out and hanging out with Corey Davis. He's hanging out with Braxton Berrios. They're doing a lot of workouts. They're doing a lot of really good things, developing that chemistry, hanging out with Elijah Moore. So that's all positives, man.
Yep, absolutely. You can only admire what they're building in that building.
We're trying,
we're
man.
continuing to
try.
We're looking like we're trending upwards. Let's just hope it continues. And we have a lot of hope instilled right now. The one thing I'm really thinking about and trying to kind of wrap my head around, and this might be overthinking the situation, but what do we do if we're bitten by the injury bug again this year?
Nope, we're not going down that path. Okay. We are not buying that negativity.
Afram will kill me if I answer that. Afram will kill me if I answer that.
Okay. I'm just trying to be realistic.
After all the injuries we had last year, it only has to improve from here. It can't get any worse. I mean, that's
But we said that last year too. But
I know it's true. Jared, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right. So we got Marcus again. Marcus, we're not staying put with the 2 seconds. If we don't trade for a big time receiver, I feel like we move up and have 3 picks overall in the first round. That could be 2, man. That could definitely be 2. That's there's a lot of different options where you can handle the wide receiver position for sure.
If they had their big board set up, for pass rusher at 4, and then like we were talking about getting somebody on the back end, like a Hamilton, or if a Gardner slips to you at 10, that might be too good to pass up. And they might like some of the receivers that they think could slip into the 20s. Clearly, they have enough ammo to move up. So I think that definitely could be an option.
And that was an interesting point that you made. I really didn't mean to put that together, though. And I guess if you take the first 3 picks are edge players, and to say if somebody wants that elite level if they want a Quanu, if they want whoever, they want somebody there for, maybe you can consider trading down from 4, man, and see what you can get from there. Because that's interesting. I never really thought about that way. I always assume the 1 lineman go up there, be 2 pass rushers and offensive linemen, and then we get our pick.
I think that's the most likely scenario that happens, is that somebody like Neal probably goes, and then Hutchinson and Thibodeau.
Yep. That's the one thing.
I've seen a few mocks that have Hamilton go in top 3, so.
Yeah, not anymore. Not that last workout.
Yeah,
the one thing was I saw the guy I got tagged in the one thing is like they had Hutchinson going 7. I'm like, could you imagine if Hutchinson is there at 4 and we pass on him? I'm like, we'd break Twitter. Twitter'd be dead. It'd just blow up. It'd be over. It'd just be outrage everywhere. So you want chaos? So now I wonder what version of Jomo we're going to get tonight. Let's see what we get. What's up, man?
What up?
The crickets are back.
Yeah, Jomo and the crickets.
Well, I think we got another super chat in here. Hold on one second.
Oop, did I miss
you get this one?
Yep.
Trade down from 10 and get your wide receiver. Oof. See, that's if their plan is to go receiver, I don't know if I'm trading down from 10. If you have your guy right there, you can get the best player available.
Yeah, you pick your guy. You pick your guy at 10.
Yeah, unless you're in love with somebody else and then you want to move up, I'm taking my guy at 10 probably. That's just me.
I agree. Well, so how yo, I don't think I've talked to you guys about free agency or anything yet, but I liked all the moves that I saw made. The only thing I wish we would have done a little more of is defensive line. I think we could have added a little bit more in that.
It's Solomon Thomas today.
Oh yeah, we did get Solomon Thomas. I like that, but I still think you could use a little more work. But what's up?
Well, so you're worried about defense of all the needs on this team. You're worried about defensive line. Are you talking about like a pass rusher or just like what were your?
Just like interior defensive line depth. I don't think we have any. I think we got Quinnen, Shepard, and Rankins. I mean,
so all the things that's you're disappointed with right now.
Did you want to pay?
No. I'm just saying. I think we could have added another. I like the addition of Thomas, but I think Thomas kind of fills that void. I kind of forgot about him. But other than that, I loved all the moves from the free agent. All of his free agent signings. The tight ends were fucking awesome. I can't remember the last time we had a big target. I feel like the last big target. What's up, Tyrone? Hey man, keep grinding, bro. Love what you're doing. Huge motivation, man. But I like the tight end signings a lot. I feel like the last big target we had was like Brandon Marshall or Terrell Pryor. Like I can't remember a big target that we've had. I think it's going to be great for Wilson. Now I'm going to be siding with Tyrone, whereas if I was on here a week ago, I would not have, because I really think we need that wide receiver 1, but I don't think it needs to be at 10. I think Sauce at 4, and then an edge at 10, like a Jermaine Johnson or a Walker or whoever's there, Karlaftis. And I think you need to fill that edge. You need to fill that edge opposite of Carl Lawson. So you get Gardner, you get the edge, and then you could trade with the 35 and 38, trade back in with 15, 16 with the Eagles, and you can still get your receiver that you want. You're jumping over the Packers, the Chiefs, all these teams that are going to be picking receivers in those early 20s. So, like I said, if you asked me a week ago, I think we need wide receiver.
So what changed your mind?
Tyreek Hill going to the Dolphins, and I don't like the corner opposite DJ Reed. I like Eccles. I think he shows promise.
You don't like Bryce Hall?
I'm not a fan of him. For whatever reason, I've just not been a fan of him. I know he bats balls away every now and again. I feel like he gets away with a lot of PIs, but I think Sauce Gardner is just a can't miss prospect. Like, I think he's great, and I'd take him at 4.
That's a very funny comment right there. The comment was the crickets represent Tyson and Kevin when Vincent makes his takes. That's a funny comment right there. The chat's been fucking funny as shit tonight.
Chat's always great, man.
So you're saying you're going to take Sauce at 4, and then you're going to go pass rusher at 10.
Mm-hmm. I would hope Jermaine Johnson is there. That would be my guy, preferably.
I don't think he will be.
Yeah, that's the only issue. But, you know, there's a lot of guys. Karlaftis, Jermaine Johnson, Trey Walker.
But see, the question I have for you then is, you could get to a point where you're taking on your Jomo's draft board your 6th best pass rusher over possibly your number 2 receiver, number 1 receiver on your board. Is that the best value you can get?
I mean, I think getting Jameson Williams at 16 would be really nice. I just can't see taking him at 10 with the injury.
What's the difference? 6 picks.
Yeah, but you're missing out on an edge if he's there. If the edge isn't there, I'm taking the receiver.
Would you want your 6th, just say in theory, your 6th best pass rusher on your board over possibly your number 2 wide receiver?
No, if it's not a guy like Jermaine Johnson or Trey Walker, I'm probably not taking Karlaftis. I'll go Garrett Wilson if he's there. But
there we go. Now you're back on track. I saved you, man.
Yeah, I do, but I don't think Wilson will be there, which is my issue. And I don't think there's any chance we take London after getting these 2 big tight ends. I think it's going to be all route runners. I think that's what this offense is going to be keyed in on. Yeah, I think Jameson is a great receiver, but I also think Garrett Wilson is a great receiver. I agree. I just want an edge so bad, man. But I want Sauce because these
you want a lot of things, don't you, man?
But we can get it though. We can. It's just these receivers that we got to be going up against, and these quarterbacks. Like, we need guys that can cover. Like,
because see, to me, what's more important, having you improving your secondary or having an elite level pass rush? What's going to win you more games?
Having corners that can tackle is.
But doesn't having a top level pass rush overcome any deficiencies you have in your secondary?
Not if you're just throwing a quick, not even like a quick hitch, right?
Well, then it comes down to your scheme. But that comes down to your scheme, then, doesn't it?
Corners can only cover for so long if you're not getting a pass rush.
Well, no, what I'm saying is when you're playing the Dolphins 2 times a year, when you're playing these teams where the offenses now are passing the ball, quick passes, you snap the ball and you're passing it. The receiver isn't even running a route. You're passing it to him behind the line of scrimmage. That's what they do with Waddle. That's what they do with Tyreek Hill. I mean, I just think our corners cannot tackle these guys. I just don't think they can.
You have no faith in Michael Carter and Eccles? I mean, I thought they all did in the condition they were thrown into last year with no pass rush whatsoever. I think they all did pretty well.
32nd. I know the rushing defense was awful.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they were 32nd because none of the high-priced guys in front of them were doing anything.
That's true, but what was it? Week 2, what did we give up? 45 points to the Patriots.
And what about the blowout loss to the Colts? Whose fault was that?
That was Mike White went down, and it was all downhill from there.
That was a defense not stopping anything in terms of running game.
Yeah, no, the defense is horrible when it comes to the run game, and that goes back to my point with the defensive line. Like, there's so many things. But I like all the moves. But in my world, I want Sauce. If you could get Jermaine Johnson, yeah, I'm going to take him. But if not, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. And 35 and 38, I mean, shit. There's just who even knows, man. I really want to trade. I want to trade back into the first to get like a Devin Lloyd. If he starts falling, like trading up for Devin Lloyd, that would be awesome. I think that's something, and I'm happy I just reminded myself of this. I wanted to bring this up. I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. Last year, our defense was primarily nickel because we couldn't run the 4-3. We just couldn't. We didn't have that third linebacker. We didn't have him. Like, it just wasn't on the roster. So we were resulting to going into the we resulted going into running the nickel every single down, and that's why we got the ball run down our throat. It was horrible. Like, I really think linebackers should be more of a priority as well, but
It's gonna be tough to trade up for one though if you're going defense at 4 and 10.
Yep.
But if you can get a guy like Lloyd, if he starts falling and you can trade those 2 seconds for him, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's so many. It's just my thought process of you want to stop the run, you go to a 4-3. Like why we were running nickel every. I
want to hit the quarterback.
Down. Yep, me too.
Right? Yeah, but you got to stop the run too, man, or else they just keep running it.
Like Jimbo, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Hey,
great call,
going,
great
guys.
call,
have a good night.
Call,
have a good night.
Take it easy.
That was a good call, man.
All right, it was a very good call. What's up, everybody? We're trying to say hi to everybody and keep up. The chat's been rare for them, man. They're covering all kinds of topics over there. It's just funny shit, actually.
Chat is wild tonight.
Yeah, so we didn't really have any controversial phone calls tonight, but the one developing dynamic, Tyrone, is we have a little beef on this show. There's been some edge with our next caller and Primetime. They just don't get along, and they disagree all the time now. There's a legitimate hostility between these two.
Apparently, I'm too negative.
There he is.
No, we don't. We don't argue.
Wow, the voice of reason.
Why would I even argue with him? I just wanted to get him off of that.
He's trying to stir shit up because I stir shit up with him and Steve and Joe.
There's no reason.
They've been arguing about cap numbers and cap decisions and contracts.
Don't bite the bait.
It's fine. You can argue. It's not like I hate him or anything like that.
You disagree with him? You think he's too negative?
Well, I think he's so used to everything being negative that he just can't. He can't evolve to this great positivity that we have.
I thought I've been pretty positive this offseason.
Yeah, you have.
I haven't criticized.
I think once you knew he was going to spend $30 million a year on
that was
elite
big
player.
For me. That was big for me.
So
it sent the right message.
And you made a point there. He said it that it's one thing to go after players, it's another thing to be reckless with your money.
Yeah,
right.
So
I respect that for where we are in the rebuild. I respect that.
So let's draft everybody we can in the first round.
That's right.
We'll get this guy. We'll get this guy. We'll get this guy. And we'll get this guy.
So, what are your thoughts on the Solomon Thomas signing?
I think it's great. Listen, the guy's number 3 overall in 2017. There's got to be some talent there. Maybe he brings it out, but he's a backup. Thank you, Steve. Was this Steven? Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
But I look forward to it. Soon. They're just the pandemic has caused a lot of backup on paper.
So, more importantly, how much cap space do we have right now?
16 mil.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it dwindled.
We need what, 13 million for the draft class?
Yep.
We still haven't cut anybody. We haven't cut anybody. So
that, and clearly they have a way of creating money if they were about to trade for Tyreek Hill. So
yep.
Well,
they have some kind of method of being able to maneuver some of these contracts.
And I brought this up last week is that the reason he didn't spend last year was because he didn't have enough this year. You see how they're spreading it across.
Yep.
Next year, this 2023, he had a lot of money. So if you did it in the previous year, you could maybe have signed 2 guys, and you would have to give them the second year a higher contract than this year, a higher number than this year, because you're usually given a 3-year contract. So they want to get paid eventually, So this year he was able to do more, because if you looked at the cap he had, he's down to 50 million for next year.
Right.
Yep. Okay, which he had close to 100. And then the following year in 2024, he has 124 million. So there's, as long as you have that surplus sitting there, you can move around. Yes, Pop, you can move around the money. But if you don't have it, and that brings up my point that the only wide receiver that you could possibly might be able to get is AJ Brown, because they only got like 13 million next year in cap space. So either they have to cut, or he takes a very low first year, and I don't know what they're
probably not doing that.
Yeah. So he's going to want over 20 million. We can do it. Now, if you want to trade for him, my process is switch the 10 with their 26 and give him a second round pick.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Now,
I like that.
Right. You got your wide receiver, and you might land Nakobe Dean at that number.
I was thinking Linderbaum at 26.
I think you get. I think if you pick Lindstrom in the back, you have 1 year of letting him learn. I don't think Linderbaum's going to land that far back. To be honest, I think someone's going to take him.
Yeah, probably.
That's in the need. But
so wait, what was your compensation again? You're going from 10 to 26 and a second round
think
pick?
Yep. And try to give him the 38th, but they'll probably want the 35th. And then you got your wide receiver, right? You don't have to worry about it. So you come back, you're in. You still got a second draft pick, and you grab yourself the hopefully Nakobe Dean there. You got now you have a linebacker that can take over for Mosley as he's going to.
I don't want a linebacker there. I don't think.
But who would you take at that number?
Would you take Williams at 26?
At 26, what would you take at that level?
Well, I don't think you'd be taking a receiver if you get AJ Brown.
Exactly. So now,
And what are we getting at 4? Assuming a pass rusher at 4?
I think that's their priority.
So if you're going to go pass rusher at 4, and then we got Brown, and then we're at 26.
Yeah. Keep in mind,
secondary at that point.
He plays a 4-2-5 a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, because the linebackers are filling the gaps for the front line. So
that would be interesting.
We really don't know what he's going to do, to be honest with you, because he's still making deals.
Yep.
And so, but I think he's the Deebo Samuel. Forget it. The guy. They're not going to trade him when they do anything. That's they're still in the win now mode.
Yeah. No.
And DK Metcalf is not going anywhere.
Well, they're also saying the Chiefs are actively pursuing trades too for a player. So I think they're going to be active too.
Yeah, they have to fill.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you see Chris Sims' top 5 wide receivers?
I saw that. He didn't have Wilson in the top 5, which is crazy.
And
he had Watson at number 2.
Watson number 2.
Who do you have number 1?
Number 1, he had Jameson Williams.
Yeah, he still had Williams at number 1.
Yeah. Number 2, Christian Watson. Number 3, Alec Pierce. Alex Pierce. Is it Alec or Alex?
I think Alex, right?
Yeah,
Burks 4, London 5.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't.
It came off like he was looking for clicks on that, which is why I didn't retweet it, but I saw that.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the time because
I trust his quarterback evaluations. I don't know about receiver.
About an hour of his evaluation. I didn't have time to see it, but I skimmed through it just to see who he's picking. The fact that he didn't even have Wilson or Olave in that,
especially with Watson,
it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting that how he evaluates it. So I when I get time, I'm gonna.
I like his videos. Like he's very well spoken. When he has like a rhyme or reason, he explains in detail why he's picking certain guys over ones. He does a really good job with it. That's just.
Well, he explains how certain guys don't.
Yep.
They can run a good route, but they don't go once they catch, they don't get any further. No yak or.
Yeah.
At London, he said 90-10. He wins 90% of the time on the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting. I can't comment too much because I didn't really see it. I just skimmed through it. But I like to see his takes because we listened to him for the quarterback. So
yeah.
I
like Watson. I didn't see that though.
That kid Watson's man comes with a lot of boards, man. Everyone said this kid is such a monster though.
That's because of the Senior Bowl.
Because he's a freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? The kid's a big kid.
He just runs so fluidly. He just runs so fluidly, like it's.
He's 6'4", right?
Yeah, 6'4". Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4". And it's not like he ran I don't even think he ran. Right? He didn't run.
No, I don't think he ran. But what I was hearing was, and this is a comparison that I was kind of iffy on. But someone said Megatron, bro. That's a name you don't throw with a lot of names, baby. That's a whole different kind of monster.
Yeah, I think because of size.
That's a crazy comparison, though, man.
Yeah,
Calvin Johnson was one that was
just his ability to grow and become a better player. They can see him, envision him, and move into something like that. This guy, I guess, because his physical nature and the way he runs and stuff like that. So,
but
I like the kid.
It's like we still got to wait and see. What are we now? Almost 32 days. 32 days away from.
Yep.
32 days, 1 month away from this.
We're almost there. We're getting there. We're turning the corner.
Let's see. But it's and I don't know why guys, people mentioned that, why are we moving AVT over to right guard? We had no problem picking a center and moving McGovern to right guard for no apparent reason. He had only
but
played it one time.
You don't understand the questioning of the Jets' approach to that, where if you have Vera Tucker, a Pro Bowl guy, you're going to move him to the right side. I mean, I understand that you're placing him with a Pro Bowl guy, but it's like you could have just signed the right guard.
Listen, you know how he likes flexibility. Why not play if he has no problem with it? You know, we have no problem moving Becton to right guard either. Right tackle, I mean.
Yeah.
We seem to like when we want to move somebody, it's okay.
Well, I mean, it's not. It's
when
just
we don't want to move somebody, it's not okay.
But it's not even that. But if you're looking for continuity, you said you have Fant, Vera Tucker, McGovern. Your left side of the line comes back intact this year. In terms of your quarterback, that's a little bit easier. It's in theory a little bit easier. That's what you're kind of hoping for. Now you're reshuffling 3/5 of it. That's
not just that. I mean, how many teams draft a lineman in the first round, have them play in one spot, and then the next year they move them? Not to mention doing it with two guys. You know, it's usually going into year 2, year 3, you're trying to get comfortable in the same spot and not learn a whole new position. So I'm just hoping that it comes from what's best for both of them and not Fant. And
I'm loving everything they've been doing this year, so I'm not questioning anything. I think they know what they're doing.
Come on, man. You're not going to question nothing.
No, I don't. Listen, I'm Mr. Positivity.
Yeah, but
Mr.
you can be. But see, the thing
I'm not going that.
Just have a friendly conversation. See, that's the one thing. I got attacked today for this too, and it's like I'm positive too. I've raved about all the moves. I like the free agency moves, but we're allowed to say, you know what? This is an interesting decision to make when you're trying to build up your offensive line. There is some calculated risk here because there's a lot of moving parts.
You could also say they deem that they know what they're doing as well, and they have no problem with it. All right,
it's true.
You know, they're the coaches. They're the more experienced than we are. We're fans, so you have to give that a grain of salt, right? You know, you have to.
Well, that's bullshit. We're fans. We have our voice and our own opinions.
Oh no, you have your voice, your own opinion. But
as a longtime Jets fan, there's been many times that our opinions have been better than the coaches.
Many times.
But if I've got a pain in on my side, I'm not going to call you to diagnose it. I'm going to go to the doctor, right?
WebMD, my friend. Figure it out yourself.
WebMD, yeah, that's it. I'll
based on this thinking,
do my self surgery.
So then, based on this thinking, then why are we even talking draft players? Because we can't really look at any. We can't. We're just fans. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We shouldn't even talk draft.
I didn't say that. I said everyone has an opinion. You said it yourself just now. Everyone has an opinion. But you can have your opinion. But I'm just saying, from my opinion, that if I had to judge, you know, based on what they're doing, is I'm gonna default to their opinion and their expertise over what I think. That's all.
I mean, that's kind of like a Steve answer right there.
But we know one thing: the line is going.
You just want trouble. That's all.
I don't want trouble. That's a very lame take though. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna trust whatever they do. They're doing it for a reason. Not everything they do is gonna be right.
And you're going to be the guy that wants to talk for the Johnsons.
I am.
I could see you at the press conference. Okay.
So what do you? Okay, but hold on.
That's
so
me.
Then,
you're going to start doing that.
Well, right now, here's a situation for you. Right now, the whole Becton thing is fascinating to me because something either went wrong or something wasn't disclosed. Because how does the injury go from like he'll be returned during the year to being out all year to now this whatever level of uncertainty going into OTAs? You don't find that strange at all?
Yeah, we don't know the extent of his injury, but I'm also thinking that they're waiting to see if he's going to get cleared by his doctors.
Right, but see, to me, and the problem with that is the way they presented to the fans is that we're almost all blaming Becton for either because they leaked out stories that maybe Becton wasn't in shape or he wasn't working hard, or he wasn't rehabilitating, right? Whatever the hell it is. So now you have the sentiment that it's all on Becton. When in theory, maybe the Jets didn't tell us really what was going on. They misdiagnosed it, or something else was going on.
Yeah,
that could be a case.
It can be. I mean,
because Douglas has fucked up with injuries in the past. I mean, he had all this shit going on with Gase. They brought back Mosley too soon. They brought back Becton too soon, like the year before. They made mistakes in the past.
We don't know. I mean,
Quincy, right? Wasn't he?
with his knee, you're gonna. He's going to gain weight because he can't do anything. There's no, I mean,
right.
You're sitting around the house, so you can't really do anything. And he's a big guy to begin with. So what is he going to do? I mean, I don't know if
Their handling of it's been strange, man. There's something. It's been a very strange thing.
I think he gets back. I just think it's a matter of a clearance of doctors to say, hey, he's cool. It may not even be the first week of OT, whatever. But I think he gets cleared. I think if you see him working out, I think he's doing as much as he can.
I have a question. I have a question for you.
Yes. Oh, by the way, congratulations on your 36 pounds.
Thank you, sir.
Good for you.
Thank you, sir. I took your advice. I'm doing it the right way. A question for you, sir. Do you think Becton comes back and wins the left side position, or do you think they end up moving on the right?
I think he wins it. I think he wants it bad. I think they just motivate. They're pushing him, just like what they're saying with Zach. They're not committing with him, which is good. Let's not make life easy for any of these guys. Let them earn it. And the thing with Zach, I think his history shows that he had a bad year. He works hard to improve himself.
Yep.
And that's what I'm looking for. Like he did, like he won his job back, and I think he's working hard to basically, even though it's his job, he's not losing it. He's working hard enough to win that job back in his own mind. Let's say. So I don't have any question marks. I just think, when they say, and I know Salah had said, I want him to run the offense, make it so it's a lot. He grabs it faster. Yes, because if you look at some of these plays, he should be hitting some of these receivers in stride versus okay. So and that's going to come over time. And I think he bit off too much in the beginning. And he was not, he was trying to be a hero for everything. And then finally he realized, hey, do the system because it seems to work. And I think, and perhaps that game with Cincinnati, where he saw that anyone can step in and be successful, maybe that woke him up a little bit.
Well, they're also saying they expect him to play a lot faster this year, where he knows the offense, he knows the routes, he knows what's going on. So he's not thinking as much; he's just reacting to it.
Right, and he hits the guys right away in stride. No wait, no, don't give the opposing defense any time to react. So it's hard to smile. I smile when I leave. I smile. There you go. But it's
what do they call it? Resting bitch face or whatever. That's what I always have.
I have never heard that one before. But you didn't watch the game with the Rangers, right?
Nah, I haven't seen anything.
They won 3-2 in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Yeah,
big win.
Was. If you watch the replay, it's a hell of a game.
Really I'll check it out.
Tight game. Hey, your Mets are looking good. I'm gonna hand it to you.
Based on what? Fucking spring training.
Always look good. They always look good.
Listen.
Get through the year healthy. There's nobody that's taking them out in
solid.
October. Rom and Scherzer in the postseason.
Nope. I'm not. Good on this one. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm a Ranger fan, but hey, what the hell? But
thanks for calling, man. Thank you for bringing all your positivity to the stream. And based on what you told me, I know now. Just trust everything, and we're gonna be fine.
Hey, no questions. Just stick to the shirt.
No questions. Just trust.
Hey, why not? Baby. Why not?
Trust the process.
Okay.
2022.
When's the last time we had this type of setup?
We question nothing. You're robots now.
Long time.
Oh, Mr. Cynical now.
Have a good night, man.
Can't wait till next week, right? Be well. Have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
So the where is this one at? The Generals play. I think the first game is the 16th, isn't it? April 16th.
Yeah, a few weeks, right?
That's right. Can't wait. So you stay tuned on our channel. I'll be doing my previews, my analysis of the roster. Plenty of USFL content coming out soon.
I want a full schedule preview, roster breakdown, depth chart.
Absolutely.
All right, just making sure.
The Yankee conversation will happen soon because I'm worried as well. They're a mess.
Yes.
So as we wrap things up, Tyrone, congratulations again, man. That's super awesome, man. That's cool.
Listen, bro. I watched you run 48 miles in 48 hours, bro. I no more excuses, bro. It is what it is. Thank you.
Dude, that's awesome, though. Keep at it. Keep with it, man. Seriously. So thank you guys for all joining us. We will be back probably either next Monday or next Tuesday. And then we're a month away from the draft. And stay tuned. I got some surprises for you guys, too. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk to you later.
Good night.